Hey, greetings to the world. Hope everybody's doing good out there. I am still Cam, and this is still the Real Resilience Talk podcast. Hey, disclaimer up front. We are inspired, motivated, and totally embracing our First Amendment rights. So that's why this thing exists. And if you don't like something, you change it. If you can't change it, you change your attitude. So that's the whole remnants and reasons behind us starting this podcast, where we get real, get honest, get candid on the subject of resilience. And what is it? How do we apply it? How do we maintain it? How do we sustain it? You may hear some bad words on here. I hope you hear some good ones too. But again, First Amendment. And you might hear people that happen to be veterans, or may even be serving on active duty or reserves or civilians or anything like that. But please know this up front. We do not speak on behalf of any organization or any formal entity. We are just human beings speaking from our perspective, our opinions. Get that, know that, please understand that. So we're going to get into it today. Y'all have already heard me what I say what resilience is, but I'll go ahead and bore you with it one more time. I just think it's to keep moving forward. Keep moving forward no matter how hard you get hit. Keep moving forward. And like Sam Cooke said so simply in his classic track, keep moving on. That's what it is to me, but today I'm blessed and highly fortunate to have a great man with me here today. Mr. Matt is here with us on the podcast, and he's going to go ahead and explain who he is, where he's from, and what is resilience to him. So at the gate, how you doing today, man?
Hi, pretty good. How you, Cam?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's
Good.
we on a 96. Anybody who doesn't understand what a 96 is, that's where you get 96 hours of liberty, because we had a federal holiday this last weekend with Juneteenth. So we in here on a nice, bright Sunday morning. We could be off right now sleeping in, but nobody's busy at 5:15. So here we are, brother.
I could be riding my bike, but
there it is.
We're good. I wanted to do this today, so thanks for having me.
For sure.
Let's see. I don't know where we really start. My background, I'm originally from Kansas.
Oh,
so
well.
kind of grew up in the southeast corner near the Panhandle, or the Four Corners, I guess, near Missouri, Arkansas, and Oklahoma. So grew up with brother and sister.
Okay.
Dad and mom kind of got divorced early.
Okay.
So when I was 6, and then mom kind of took a journey on her own. She did the old Ben Carson thing. I don't think she was really educated, but hey, I'm gonna tease you guys and make sure you guys get educated.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
I don't know if you know Carson's story, but his mother basically graded all his exams, and basically we're like, nope, that's not right, and she had no idea.
Get back.
Yeah. So not saying that's exactly the same story, but so I grew up there. Spent a lot of time in Kansas all the way up until I moved to Colorado. So I went to school out in Wichita.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a scholarship to play baseball, and also kind of joint scholarship with academics. Blessed because of my mom,
yeah.
I think. And then that kind of took me on a journey. Oh, man, I've had 21 years of civilian experience before I came into the Navy.
Oh, wow. So 21 years on the outside.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I got a way different perspective, kind of looking over, and then, it's kind of all over the board. Let's see, got straight into my degree, I guess, working for Koch Industries after that, which is an oil and gas conglomerate. So I was actually a surfactant chemist for about 5 years.
I don't know what that is, but it sounds really cool.
Basically, what I did was I created the glue that sticks the rocks together that you drive on.
Okay.
Right? Or the shingles that have sand put on.
Yeah.
We basically created an adhesive. So I did that for about 5 years. Because mom really instilled that education piece into me, knowing that it would open more opportunities and more doors no matter what education I got.
Yeah.
I pursued a master's degree in economics because the company was going to pay for it.
Yeah.
Just as long as I could get an A, they'd pay 100%.
Wow.
80% for a B, and et cetera.
So I'm assuming you got an A?
I got one B during the whole thing.
Oh, snap.
So it wasn't too bad. Let's see. Then things kind of took a turn, I guess. In 2005, moved down to Tulsa because our company got sold.
Okay.
But
that was no pun intended. I just was literally said okay.
Yeah. That's pretty good. So, uprooted, went to Oklahoma for probably 3 years, and then the economic collapse occurred.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when things really, for me, kind of took a turn. Lost my job after 10 years. So basically went in one Monday morning and they were laying off 1,300 out of the 2,000 employees.
Out of 2,000.
Out of 2,000.
Wow.
So the liquidity issue in the mortgage industry kind of didn't allow any extra free cash flow to occur.
Yeah.
And there was fraud going up in the conglomerate.
Mm-hmm.
We were worth about $7 billion at the time. And then 1,300 of us were out on the streets that Monday.
Wow.
So that's when things kind of got really interesting in life. Mom had got divorced again after she got remarried, and she was living with me. And then I decided that I was just going to follow my passion, move to Colorado, chase a dream to become a professional triathlete.
Okay.
That got cut short. And then obstacle after obstacle. So just try to figure out a way to make it. Then let's see, and then 2015. I know I'm kind of rambling here.
No, I'm loving it, man.
We got a lot of history, maybe to unpack. But in 2015, went back to school.
Mm-hmm.
Met my now wife the year before. She was heading to school as well. So I went back to school. I had to fight my way in. Just a lot of obstacles to kind of get in, especially at my age, to try to go back. Went back. Finished up another master's degree and then joined the Navy after that.
Wow.
So, yeah, and there's a lot of like little pieces in, a lot of little stories within its stories.
Yeah.
Coached a lot of athletes over my time in between my journey as a triathlete, because that's what I ended up doing as a profession leading up until the Navy. So about 12 years of coaching, amateur athletes, recreational athletes, professional athletes. Not necessarily.
Oh, okay.
Some cyclists. When I was with a firm out of Colorado, we actually coached the Red Wings to increase their VO2.
Really?
Yeah. So
like
I got
Red Wings as in like Detroit?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I got to see a little bit of that. Got to see a little bit of the professional cycling, the professional triathlon world. And then a little bit of the Olympic Training Center there with a lot of Paralympic athletes.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's really what I was doing before I came in, and really enjoyed the time there, but needed some change, and I think this was good change. Which a lot of people look at me like, you came into the Navy at 41. What was your thinking on that?
Yeah.
This is a young man's world, kind of, but there's grass green. Wherever you find it, I don't think it's greener on the other side.
No.
Right? Because it's always a choice. You can look at it one way or you can look at it another. So
Yeah. No,
yeah.
That's true.
And now I'm here.
Wow, man. Wow, that is that's amazing, man. It just really is to say, like, so Kansas, mom wasn't highly educated or accredited herself, but had a passion for pushing y'all to be y'all's best, right? Which right there, folks, is resilience, being the best possible version of yourself. Keep moving forward. And then you just take this path that leads you through, almost professional sports, training for professional sports, being you said surface chemist?
A surfactant chemist.
Surfactant chemist. I messed it up. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good.
So I shall push for this. I shall push for my transgressions. And then you're raising the VO2 max for Detroit Red Wings. And I said Red Wings, so Red Wings. And then at 41, you decide, I'm going to go into the Navy. Wow. I know I just probably did a really bad version of the the recap, but that's a hell of a journey, man. I'll just ask you out the gate, what's resilience to you?
Pretty much toughness, and being able to separate emotion and logic, and always landing on logic, knowing that emotion's not in control. Because if you allow emotion to be in control, you typically make wrong decisions. And if you're going to be truly resilient and move forward, and you can reflect, there's always reflection that's needed when you're on the path forward, but the ability to deflect anything that comes at you, to pursue the goals that you strive for, no matter who you are, where you're from, whatever diversity throws at you, right? Race, economic status, anything. It's really, what is it going to be for you with making the right decision? because the right decision is not always the right decision for you.
Okay.
Because the opportunities that are in front of you, no matter how far, whether it's tomorrow, a year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, even for my case, the decisions that you make on a daily basis will determine where you end up in life.
So one thing I say on here a lot of times is I quote a great naval service member in Jocko Willink, a Mustang too. Just want to say that Mustang Mafia, say something. But he says that Rome wasn't built overnight. And everybody's like, yeah, we know that, right? But Rome also didn't fall apart overnight either. It was a slow decay. So that, like you said, the day-by-day actions. And even when you are making these good decisions and you're putting yourself in a good position, and what you described and being with, it was the Coke industry, right? Yep, you were with them. You're doing great things. 2008 comes. There's 2,000 employees. Now 1,300 got to go bye-bye. Like, that right there, I mean, what I've called it before is going from hero to zero and having to restart. Obviously, you had your credentials, you had your background, you had your passion, you had your character, but you had to start over, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I was completely starting over after 10 years, no severance, with a past that was not an easy struggle, to be honest with you. You know, parents divorced when I was 7. Mom remarried when I was about 12. So, you know, single mother raising 3 kids that are really close in age, by herself. You know, she had a little bit of education, but not a formal degree at that point in time. She did get her degree kind of after, I think a couple years after I did.
Okay.
So she kept kind of fighting on her own to try to make her dreams come true. Even though, like, the world was throwing a more or less a shit sandwich to her, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just kind of like, let's think we're on this journey with this this individual, and you know that marriage basically decays, and then she's raising 3 kids on her own. So it wasn't easy. You know, there's a lot of struggles that went along with that. My father was really struggling with drugs and addiction and alcohol. So that's why she split off, because she wanted to make the right decision.
This when you were younger.
When I was I was really younger, and I didn't really notice it because I didn't see it, right?
Yeah.
But I was a product of that, and you know, I could have looked at life and thought, "Oh, poor me," right? Poor me. My parents got divorced. I don't have a father figure in my life. Oh, poor me. My father's father committed suicide. My, uncle committed suicide in my parents' house when I was 1. I could have been a product of that, right?
Yeah.
So, I'm thinking, well, maybe this is in my genetics. Maybe this is me. All during this time, and this inflection point in 2008 of like, you think you've made it.
Right.
Right? You crawl out of the trailer park and you're just like, okay, mom got us to the school. You use sports and academics to get your education because we didn't have the money to pay for it.
Right.
And then you get another degree because you took the opportunity, the door that was open. It may not have been the exact door that I wanted to go through.
Right.
But it was there.
Yeah.
So I decided, well, eventually I'll get what I want. And I think, the sporting background was great. I was kind of blessed, I guess, there with a little bit of athleticism to do that.
He's being very humble, folks. This man, he's being very humble. We do that castle run y'all have heard of talk about every week. First week here, he's like, he said he's a little, he's a little more seasoned, right? And we're like, okay, this guy's coming out here to come out with us, and then he smokes our asses. I didn't even see him, and then he's coming down and kind of gives me dap like, keep going. And I was like, what the? I try to win this, but not that day. But all right, sorry, I had to say that. He's being very humble.
Well, I appreciate the kind words. Yeah, there's a whole different story on that living in Colorado. I get my ass kicked every week. That's why I live there, so I could be humbled every day. And a lot of lessons. Yeah, so I mean, kind of fast forward to 2008, kind of starting over. Not really sure what to do. I mean, we're in the economic crisis of 2008, 2009, and here I am, a corporate economist at this time, and nobody wants to hire economists. So, I chased the dream. I head out to Colorado, work for a firm as a coach, just try to get by, because that's what we've got to do in life, because not everybody gets to grow up in the 1%.
So you're working in a firm and then coaching on the side?
No, I'm kind of working in a coaching firm.
Okay,
Yeah.
coaching firm. Okay.
So, I actually worked for CTS at that time, and that's kind of where I was around, working with a lot of coaches that worked with a lot of different athletes.
Right.
So I got to learn, I think from some of the best coaches in the world, to be honest with you. I mean, you walk down the hall and there's a coach in there with like national medals and world titles and Olympic medals on the wall. And, there's a slew of other coaches there that had a robust, physiological background that I wanted.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I wanted to do in my undergrad, is I wanted to be in medicine, and I wanted to be able to help and assist other people. So, you're in the dream. You're like, wow, I made it. I'm not making any money, but I made it.
Right.
And I'm living in a great location. And then another thing hits the media. Carmichael's kind of name gets dragged through the mud with Lance Armstrong's drugs. Yeah. And probably 6 or 7 of the coaches that were there just like, we don't want to have anything to do with this. It's going to hurt our career. It's going to hurt our profession. So a lot of us kind of branched out and did our own thing. And that after about a year, I did that. So
you left as well.
I left. Yeah. I became an entrepreneur. Didn't have any money. Really kind of struggled to get going, but it was basically that restart. There's a lot of restarts in my journey. A lot of just sitting back, thinking, okay, logically, what is the smartest thing right now? And then you just tap all your mentors. Yeah. You tap all your coaches that you've had, because you don't have a father. You talk to your mother a little bit, but she's not really good at giving advice. Yeah. She had good spiritual advice, because that's where her bread and background is. And then you just keep moving forward the best you can.
Keep moving forward. But at any of those points in time, just through this short journey you've told me, we talked about it the other day. I had Eric on here, and we were talking about Dr. Edith Eger. She survived Auschwitz, and just a whole bunch of just hard challenges, not just concentration camp, but moving forward through her life. Became a doctor at like 50 and so on and so on. But she said that suffering, basically suffering is inevitable, but victimhood is optional. And I hear that throughout what you've described so far, that at any point emotionally, which is where we all get caught up as humans sometimes, or a lot of times, you could have just sat there and felt sorry for yourself and had poopy pants and had a pity party and been like, yep, this is what it is, or it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. I love what you said too about the genetics. There is generational trauma. I mean, that's well documented, and we know that. But it doesn't mean you need to be a generational victim. And you could break the chain, you could break the cycle. Not to make you brag or anything like that, but as far as, so I've heard undergrad and then 2 or 3 master's degrees? 2. Is anyone else in your family that far education-wise?
My brother. My brother was the father figure in life. I'm about 18 months older than I. So he went off to Tulsa University, basically got a full ride there. Yeah. He was a 4.0 student.
Academics?
Full academics. He didn't pursue a master's that I know of. I haven't talked to him in about 10 years. Yeah. Because life got kind of, well, more than that, almost 15 now. Life got pretty tough for me for a little bit. So, yeah, my sister, I think she just stopped at the master, I think she actually pursued a master's. Not sure if she completed it. But all 3 of us actually kind of, I like to look at it as we kind of got out of that trailer park scenario. Yeah. Because we were raised in that. We moved all the time. Right. I mean, when we were younger. I mean, I remember, getting support from the church, getting support from friends, using the old SNAP program, which was not whatever it is today. Yeah. Back then. We just did whatever we needed. But we did the right thing. I mean, we the two older kids, we avoided a lot of alcohol and drugs.
Yeah.
Sister was pretty young, so she didn't see it on the father's side.
Gotcha.
So she kind of she's had a journey there.
Yeah.
But all three of us, I think, have become pretty successful. He's in IT. He works in IT. Obviously, I've had multiple careers. And success is dependent on what you define it with internally, right? So that's a whole different story, right?
I love that you said that.
And then my sister was in marketing for a long time, and then of all things, she's in politics now, successful.
Wow, man.
So, I mean, we've all had struggles and journeys, I think, along the way. And I think when you talk about, okay, wow, this guy's, he's so successful. You brought him online, you're going to share a story. It's just like, well, that wasn't always the case.
Yes.
Right. I mean, right now we're in a good wave. We're going to ride it.
Yeah.
But mentally, you can understand that I've gone through a lot of mental battles and struggles.
Yeah.
And I didn't pull myself out by myself sometimes.
Right.
I reached out for support. I mean, think about it. I didn't know that my uncle committed suicide in my parents' house until I was riding my bike across the United States at the age of like 28. My parents hid that from me.
Yeah.
No idea. And then you start thinking, wow, well, if this happened to them and this is in my genetics, well, maybe I'm meant to have a short life.
Yeah.
You know, and some of those struggles of like, oh, wow, I just lost my job. What do I do next? It wasn't like a walk out the door and then move to Colorado. There was a lot of months that went by that I started doubting. I started worrying. I started being concerned. How am I going to make this happen? And then I really just kind of picked myself up with the support of others and went out and decided that maybe there's an opportunity there. And if there's not, I'm going to back up, go back to the fork in the road, and go down another road.
Yeah.
You know? So it's an interesting journey. And it's been that way my whole life.
It's probably never going to end.
No,
in that sense, 'cause that's life. That's the ebb and flow of it.
Yeah.
It is. And I love that you said you think you made it. Like, I've talked a lot about that, about never arriving. None of us have ever made it. We have to earn it every day, whatever that it may be. And I also love how you said that success, whatever that means to you, because that is a very subjective. I don't even know what Merriam-Webster's or anybody says it as, but they'll probably change in 20 years depending on what the flow of, society is or whatever it is. But talk about coaches. I got it right here in front of me as inspiration for me, for Coach John Wooden, number 13 at Purdue, just saying. So success, listen to this, folks, this is good. And this is exactly what Matt, and what you've been describing and what I've seen and knowing you the short time embodies. Success is a peace of mind, which is a direct result of self-satisfaction and knowing you made the effort to become the best of which you are capable. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, he stated it the best. I mean, I carry one thing with me and I put it in the office. I have an Olympic flag with me.
Wow.
Right.
Is it a participation flag?
It's,
not in the term of participation.
I've had
trophy,
friends that have gone.
Yeah.
So just by living where I lived.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, they're people. You know, they have struggles just like us.
But they're Olympic athletes, and
but they've worked hard and they've looked at things and they've been in that thought process of frustration. Just like we have.
Yeah.
But they get out of it quicker and they move on and they figure out, okay, how can I try to find that goal or that success that I want to make. Right. I mean, I've had some interesting like time to reflect too, in 2008. And it's just like when I moved to Colorado, it's just like, it didn't happen instantaneous.
Right.
I struggled. I went back into try to find a few jobs, and they just didn't work out. It's time to cut and run whenever things aren't good. And if things aren't good, look for something else.
Yeah.
Because you can. But in 2010, after I was coaching for a little bit, I moved, took a job back in the industry, hated it. Money was good,
Mm-hmm.
but life was not.
Mm.
So I picked up and I was just like, okay, what am I going to do after another more or less layoff?
Mm-hmm.
And I was dwindling on cash flow at this point. I think I had $600 to my name. Besides retirement, like I was told that I with my econ degree, I learned the financial like lessons of, okay, anything under the umbrella of retirement, don't touch, right? Struggle, try to restart just like you did at 18, just make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
So got down about $600 to my name. I was living in Florida of all places. This was weird. So I went to Colorado, and then I left Colorado because after I wanted to get back, and I was like, I got to get back to work and start making some money and this and that. Moved down to Tampa, worked there for like 6 months, and then lost that job. And just things were super tight, really bad. And then I was like, what am I going to do? So I ended up, I think I had like $1,600 to my name. Spent $1,000 to move back in with my brother. He took care of me for a little while. And then I was just like, this just isn't working.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, why can't you find a job?
Mm-hmm.
You can't even get a job at Walmart.
Yeah.
Overqualified. Everybody's like, lie in your resume. Can't do it.
Yeah.
I think lying is not something that I should do.
Yeah.
You know, I want to be honest with myself. So on Friday, I picked myself up, rode across the United States on my bike, just left.
Hold up.
Yep, this is a crazy story.
So this is what year are we in now?
So we're in about, this was 2010.
So 10.
Yeah, so 2008, moved out to Colorado, spent a year there, went down, and then, 2010.
So you're in Florida.
Yep.
And you're like, I can't even get a job at Walmart.
I couldn't even get a job parking cars. I couldn't even get a job being a janitor. I applied at probably 150, 200 places. Educated.
Wow.
No jobs to be had at all. At all. And I was just like, well, I'm going to have to break this lease because it's going to happen there and they're going to charge me.
Yep.
Well, I just wrote a letter to them and said, listen, I cannot pay this anymore. I need to leave. The best thing for me to do is vacate the building. And then they granted permission for me to break the lease because you have to ask.
Yeah.
You never know what people are going to say if you don't
true.
ask, right? So I get in with my brother, lived there for like 3 months. And then things are like mentally going crazy. I'm just thinking, wow, maybe this isn't for me. You know, my brother's putting pressure on me. So Friday, I was just like, I'm leaving on Monday. And I'm gone. Like, I'm living in Missouri at this time. And I called my friend, and she was like, yeah, you can borrow my Bob trailer, which is one of those things you tow behind a bike.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, if I can't get saved with my family, and I don't have trust because of the fraud in the company in 2008 and then what happened at this other firm, maybe I can find myself out on the road, which was crazy.
And this is with a motorcycle?
Nope. This is a bicycle.
It's a bicycle. So bicycle, starting in Florida.
Nope, starting in Missouri.
Starting in Missouri. Okay,
Because
my bad.
I
Starting
spent about $1,000
Gotcha.
to get myself.
That's right. You got your grand to move over to Missouri.
Yep.
So you're there. You got the Bob trailer on a bike.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep, an old Trek 5100 that I still have. So because I got into, this is 2010, so I got into endurance sports while I was in the company. You know that's what kept me going as an athlete. Because I didn't want to stop. I saw all my buddies from college just start getting out of shape, and I was just like, no way. I don't want that for my life.
But it's also, so I don't always try to like endorse it or whatever, but sports, and education are such vessels for so much, right? I came into the Marines at 17 with a GED, and now I got a little bit more certificates than that, but so be it. It is what it is. But like, you're never going to go wrong with having education. And the thing with the sports is that there's so much principle-based life lessons, because life is pretty soft for us as human beings nowadays. It's probably the safest place. We can say whatever we want to do with watching the news or any kind of tragedies. But if you look at statistics or proportional, like, destruction, we're doing pretty fucking good as human beings. It's a pretty safe place. So we have to like synthetically create those challenges and those struggles, and to have them to not wither away, because if you don't use it, you lose it. And that's with any kind of muscle, whether it's your muscles in your body or your muscles in your mind. So throughout that time of not wanting to get soft, you did this endurance. And this is not just like, hey, I'm gonna just run 2 or 3 miles. This is, you said, high endurance, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I know we've been kind of going all over the place.
No, it's good. And it's this is the free flow of it, because I want to set it up for when you talk about this journey across the country on a bike.
Yeah, sports for me and challenges, whether it be academic or physical, have always been ingrained. My brother and the group that we used to run with, per se, was mostly sports oriented. Mm-hmm. I mean, we had a lot of people that focused either on academics or sports, and my brother's focused primarily on academics after his sporting career kind of ended. Mm-hmm. Didn't really end. I think it was a choice, mm-hmm. but I tried to focus on both.
Yeah,
I was like, I'll be a B+ student. That's okay with me as long as I can still play, mm-hmm. as long as I can still get something physical. So I really enjoyed the physical aspect. So like after college, I just moved into riding bikes, mostly because of injuries. Yeah. And 2001, I think I bought a bike, and next weekend, a couple people, I just kind of put myself out there. I was like, I'm looking for people to ride with, and they're like, hey, we're going to ride this 400-mile deal in like 3 days. You want to do it?
Yeah.
I was like, I don't think that's probably smart, but let's give it a go.
Everybody else is doing it. Why not?
Yeah. I remember buying my bike. See, I was in Wichita at the time. Just got done with school, had a surgery. I've had 9 surgeries, by the way. So, wow. Like, I've been on the bed of like, oh, is this ever going to happen again? Am I ever going to be able to play again? Mm-hmm. Am I ever going to be able to do this again? Am I ever going to be able to do that again? And it was just, don't stop. Don't stop. If you stop, that's when life's going to go downhill. Mm. And I get, there's always peaks and there's valleys, and I've been in a lot of valleys and I've been on a few peaks. But at that point, I got into cycling pretty heavy. We did that. We rode from Wichita, or Oklahoma. It was Oklahoma City to Wichita Falls and back. And we ended up doing that.
Damn, and back. Damn.
And back. After we did the Hotter Than Hell 100. So we rode 150 miles, rode 100 miles, and then rode 150 back.
Damn.
And I think 4 of us completed it. So at that point, I was enamored with just riding outside, long distances. Just the people you get to see, the smells, the sounds, just the interactions over the whole day. And like, you realize that you're doing something that's filling your soul, but along that journey, everybody wants to be a part of your story.
Wow.
Because once you tell them what you're doing, they're like, oh, how can I help? How can I help? How can I help? So I think I remembered that in 2010. And I was just like, well, things are tough. I can't find a job. What am I going to do here? I can't sit in my mind and just live in emotion all the time. Mm. I need to get out and do something, right? Emotion was taken over 100%. Like, I was in the mental, like, doldrums of life. I mean, it was, okay, you've had 2 suicides in your history with your father's side. Your father's out of the picture. Your brother's willing to help, but now your brother's kind of at the point where, like, I'm tired of helping. Mm-hmm. Because you're not picking yourself up, right? Which I thought I was, because I was applying for jobs. I was doing all these types of things. And then I was just like, I got to get out of here for a bit. I got to get in a good headspace.
Yeah.
Right? Because we got to change all the time. If you're not in a great place mentally, make a choice to change it. Yeah. Don't sit in there.
To sit in it and dwell and what the definition of insanity, right? Like, you keep repeating the same exact, like, if you're doing the same things, folks, like a lot of people I hear, they'll be like, I just want to be happy and I just want these to happen. Well, like, you can't keep doing the same things or associating with the same people or even in the same environment. Again, we all don't always have control over that, right? Because there is a trap thing. And I love what you said about getting out of the trailer park. Or I was actually talking to my wife yesterday about just sometimes you just got to remove yourself from the environment of where you're at, to get out of that mentality, to kind of see things differently, be around different sounds, different people, different influence. It doesn't mean they're better people or worse people, or, you know, nobody's trying to sound snobby here, but it's to be around different influences and to say, if I don't change these things, nothing's going to change in the results. And if you don't like something, folks, you hear me say it all the time, to quote Maya Angelou, if you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. So what Matt's talking about right here is hitting these reset points, as you called it, and then saying, I got to change some shit. But to the point of saying, I'm going to get on a bike and ride from Missouri to, you rode to what? You just...
So I rode from, yeah, it was crazy. My plan was to ride from Missouri to Astoria, back to the East Coast, so Astoria, Oregon, back to the East Coast, and then back to Missouri. My plan was to do it twice. Ended up getting to Astoria, rode down the West Coast. I think when I was in Colorado, one of my old colleagues said, "This is crazy. You're never going to make it back. Yeah. Why don't I fly you back so you can start and get back to Missouri so you don't have to do it once?"
Yeah.
I was like, well, if you're going to fly me from the West Coast to the East Coast, at least fly me out of San Diego. So I rode down the West Coast. Yeah, it's, you know, there's, when it's a good point when you're talking about just moving mindsets. I didn't always have the arrows in my quiver of skills to really get myself out of those places mentally. I used to sit in them all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm very OCD with some things, especially with athletics and just being fixated on things and not being able to really get out of that mindset and moving on. It's taken me a long time to figure that. So, you know, if listeners on this are in that journey of like, well, how do you do that? It's just like, you got to have activation energy to change where you are, whether to get up, get out, find help, or get out and just find life again. It takes a lot of activation energy.
Activation energy.
Right.
You got to coin that. I've never heard of that.
Is
that a real
that's
thing?
From chemistry.
Oh,
so,
snap. That's some chemistry.
It's like,
I'm telling on myself, folks.
So
activation energy. But in this context. Yeah.
Yeah. But in this context, if you think about it, we all will fall back into that emotional trap, but we have to set traps for ourselves to keep ourselves out of those.
Oh, gotcha.
Right?
So boundaries and barriers.
Yeah, we have to, because especially if someone deals with, you know, mental struggles or, you know, suicidal ideations, or like substance abuse, anything that if it's a negative in your life, you can set a trap to keep yourself, to divert yourself and stay out of it. Right? But it's a choice. You can put those in and you can play them, and you have to play them to the T. You have to walk the straight and narrow, because if you don't, society will typically want to suck you back in.
Yeah.
Your friends will want to bring you back to some habits that maybe you shouldn't be doing, and these types of things. So, you know, it was a struggle. I mean, we're looking at, you know, I'm 44 now. I've been dealing with that probably since my parents divorced, right? So, you know, some of that was me, a ton of reading. You know, Psycho-Cybernetics was a book that I was told to read in 2010 by Maltz, which is a psychologist in the 1960s that really dove into like the separation between logic and emotion. Right? I love emotion.
Right.
I mean, I love the poster that you put on the door, and it's got frowny face and a smiley face and like frustration.
Yeah.
But our society wants us to live in this world of happiness all the time.
That's not real.
And it's not real.
It's not real.
Right? I mean, life is set up to be challenging.
Yeah.
It is not easy for individuals with multi-million-dollar accounts, and it's not easy with people that have zero money.
Yeah.
That is not success. Right? Success is where you hang your hat that fills your soul. And I fill my soul doing the things that I love to do, and I love to push myself physically, because I can get some reward from that.
That's true.
Internal, you know, drugs are created that allow me to, you know, stay sane. So I love to do that. I love to get out, ride my bike, and do these types of things. So it's not an easy thing to do. the activation energy to get me out and to say, I'm out of here. I've been in this headspace for 3.5 months. I've been up in this room just looking at videos or listening to music or just thinking bad thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
I found the energy for one Friday to say, you know what, I'm going to ride across the country, and this is what I'm going to do.
But you did it. You did it. There's an action. There's an action that took place. And a lot of times we want to wait for, well, I'm going to do that when I feel like it. And that's yours. Yeah, sorry. I've had a cup of tea here, sitting here for like 30 minutes just right next to him, and I didn't even tell him it was his.
It's all brewed up. It's ready to go.
It is seeped, my friend, like a motherfucker. But you're never going to feel like it. At least that's what I've seen true for me. I know everybody's different, but I never wake up and be like, you know what I feel like? Like some days, but if I only depended on those days to when I'm going to move my ass, well, there's not going to be that many of those days. And sometimes we want action to follow mood, but mood follows action. The mood is going to follow the action. Once you put that action into place, that's when you will enhance the mood. And we talk about these substances, and we talk about the return and these internal drugs that, guess what, these drugs are not like handing you dopamine. They're just activating things in your brain to release certain things. So it's in there already. And one thing about substances especially is, or any kind of negative destructive habits, and we've talked about this before. I heard Dr. Andrew Huberman talk about this, that if you have a short-term investment and a high reward, or the reward is more significant than the investment of energy that puts into it. Let's say taking a pill, let's say drinking a drink, let's say a sex addiction, let's say gambling. I'm gonna keep going. I can keep going. There's a short-term investment on your part of effort and energy, right? Because everything you just said about these reset moments, it's like, but Matt, that's uncomfortable. That's not I want to sit here and I want to wallow in this, and there is time to reflect, and I'm glad you said that. But to what point are we now in reflect and then dwelling, and then now we're just in misery forever? And it's almost as though, and again, things happen to us and nobody's blaming you, nobody's victim blaming, but the mentality to say that I'm a victim and woe is me, that's a choice. That's a choice. And trauma's real, and sometimes we're so impaired that we can't make the right logical decision because our emotions play such a heavy toll, but we can't just use that as a scapegoat and as a card to play because it's uncomfortable. But if we don't like what's happening, we have to change the actions that's leading into it. Don't know what that means for you. That's called the journey of life. But this man just got innovative and was like, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. Or like when you were 6, did you know what cycling was, like professionally? You know what I mean? You evolve to these things, but if we fail to evolve, we become extinct like dinosaurs or floppy disks. But floppy disks are archived because we use them as a save icon. So they're still alive, folks. They're still alive. I know I went everywhere right there. I put the high definition in ADHD. But it's also a sign of intelligence to overthink things and to analyze things and to want to break them down. I mean, if you were not intelligent, if we weren't intelligent beings, because last time I checked, I haven't seen too many bugs walking around depressed. I mean, they're just focused on that next thing. So all of these great things that give us all these emotions, and all, it's a good thing, but it's a double-edged sword at the same time. You can get caught up in that shit and get trapped in it and stuck. And there's somebody listening out there, and I've been there before, and it sounds like you've been there too, Matt.
Oh, yeah.
Where you just get stuck. And you got to get your ass out of there.
Yeah, the pause moments in life are good, but they're good to plan.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, because you should stay in a loop of plan, action, and hope. And
action, hope.
The plan should be short. It should be short, and the action should be where you live, because that's where life's made, right? You said something just a little bit about being uncomfortable.
Yes.
Right. Life is about being uncomfortable. Or being uncomfortable, trying to be comfortable, being uncomfortable. Because if you can't become comfortable while uncomfortable, you're going to miss life, 100%. Because life is not easy. Life is going to throw you challenges that you have to deal with, and you have to think about it this way, and you have to think about it differently. Well, maybe these moments are why I need to learn. Are lessons that are going to provide, or maybe these situations are going to provide a lesson that I need.
Yeah, you said that at one point. You were speaking on one of the struggles. No. You're speaking at one of the struggles where you stopped and you said, like what is this teaching me, or what is the lesson here? So are you saying, and I'm being sarcastic on purpose, that there may be obstacle in there may be an opportunity in the obstacle? Get the fuck out of here. This is breaking news, everyone.
100%. I mean, a lot of mentors. I can't pin it to who it was, but it's just kind of like, and it may be in my mother, that I had a gift in life, and if I spend all the time dwelling in thought of negativity, those gifts are not going to be able to be given to others.
Oh man, I love that, because that puts the pressure on you to go external, and you're robbing the world of what. And your mother taught you that?
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And she sounded like an awesome, resilient woman to be going through those struggles. So she was around when your uncle took his own life, and obviously had to watch your father struggle through substances, and then has 3 children that are all, you said 18 months apart pretty much, right?
Yeah, me and my brother, and then my sister's about 4 years younger than me, so pretty
but
close.
all young children at the time, and then being like, okay, I got to go FitFo. I got to go figure this the fuck out.
Yep.
And somehow give them the life that we wanted to give them, but now it's just me having to give them, and then pushing y'all to be your best, which is, you said your brother's in IT and highly educated and 4.0 average academic scholarship. Your sister's successful now, and look at you here. And that's just amazing. That's a testament to resilience right there, just your mother getting there and not ever sitting back saying, woe is me, and giving up, which I'm sure she's had her low points too, because she's a human being, right?
Oh, she still struggles with it.
Yeah, everybody struggles, but what's the result?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't believe, I mean, it took me a long time to get here.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I joined the Navy at 41, come in as an officer.
Which is wow. Like, wow, to even think like, hey, you know what I'm going to do today? Not only drive my bike across the goddamn country and back and forth. And the San Diego thing, did you ever get the flight? Or did you?
So I got the flight, yeah. So if we
Sorry.
want,
I just had to find out.
I know, we're all over the board. Yeah, so we can go back to let's go back to the ride. So, yeah, so I left on a Monday. Worked my way across the country and learned a lot of lessons in life. I was out on the road for 7,500 miles in 101 days, basically gumping it across the United States. Right?
Gumping it. But when you gump it, like Gump had those awesome Nikes, right? Those Nike Cortezes or whatever they were. But did you have like flat tires and like had to change some inner tubes and shit like that too?
Like 43 flats.
43 flats, and you were just with you had your carriage, right?
Your Bob. Yeah, me and Bob were going across the country. So yeah,
is there AAA for bicycles?
There are. I think if you have insurance, but I was broke.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. Just to kind of, because that's a whole long story. Just to give you an idea of where I slept in the ditches with homeless, you know, and then I met some people in Montana that allowed me to stay at their place in LA. So I saw I saw poverty at its best, and I saw wealth at its best when I took this trip. So. Wow. And what I mean by that is I had a lot of conversations with homeless people, low income, middle income, high income, along this journey. I got to see it all. And I started getting revived from the depths that I was in based on the people. Because the people in the United States were pretty amazing. I think that's why I'm here today, to serve. I think that's what I just say my calling, but maybe it was. I don't know. Yeah. Because 41, who joins the Navy? So I got to experience a lot of that. And what I mean by that is just kind of like the success that I found within myself wasn't based on money anymore. Because obviously when I was in the corporate world, that was the thing. It was just like, get out of school, do this is the family, or this is the American dream. You get a family, you get a house, you get the job, obviously probably in the reverse order, the job, the house, the family. Whatever, right. But that wasn't necessarily the case, because I saw a lot of negativity with a lot of wealth, and as far as financial wealth, when I went out across the United States. So I enjoyed it. I rode about 100 miles a day, but I got across, and I'll remember it forever because of that book that I just mentioned. That was recommended to me by a billionaire.
Dang.
I met a billionaire when I was riding across the United States because I did something kind. I opened the door for his wife at this small little restaurant in Wisdom, Montana. They went in and they were like, "Hey, want to have lunch or want to have breakfast with us?" So I was just like, "Sure. I've got nothing else to do. I'm just riding my bike. I'm a leaf in the wind. I'm going wherever opportunities take me today." Have a conversation with him, find out that he did a lot of business with Charles Koch.
Mm-hmm.
And where did I work before
Right.
I was laid off? Koch Industries. A little connection.
Yeah.
Didn't see where it was going. Upon departure, he gave me his business card and said, "Hey, if you're ever in LA, I want you to look us up. We'll put you up." I was like, huh, now I got a reason to go to LA.
Yeah.
I'm on my bicycle. Big deal. I can make this happen. So I headed south after Astoria. I get down to the LA area, reach out, and it's like, "Hey, I'm going to be in the area in the next couple of days. Are you guys going to be around?" They're like, "No, delay yourself a day and we'll be there." So I pulled in. I sound like I'm in a car, but I pedal up.
But it's cake stand.
Pedal up to this grocery store. They pick me up. And they're, obviously they're wanting to show me a little bit of what their life's all about.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, cool. I mean, this is wealth beyond wealth. This is stuff I saw on television when I was watching 90210, like at a friend's house growing up, right?
Yeah.
You're just kind of like, whoa, they got that and they got this. I went in there one night. I stayed there 2 nights, 3 days, I think. The next day they're like, "Hey, do you have any clothes that are nice?" I was like, "No, this is all I've got in my bag. This is it. I've got like 25 pounds worth of gear and no nice clothes." So I borrowed this old man's clothes. His name's Carl. Super awesome guy.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot from them. They take me to the Beverly Hills Country Club for lunch
Holy shit.
in LA.
Wow.
And I'm like, where am I?
Yeah.
I just had lunch on a picnic table, and I was satisfied with life. And here I am with these wealthy people at one of the most expensive country clubs in the country.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just soaking it in because I don't have really any context of what's going on right now.
Did you pull out your smartphone to do a selfie or anything, or just like World Star or anything?
Nope, no selfie. This was kind of before social media, before me anyway. I didn't take any photos. We had lunch there. We hung out the rest of the afternoon. We went to the Bel Air Bay Club that afternoon too, which is another really nice country club on the beach. Because the other one's like a golf course. The Beverly Hills Country Club was like a golf course, and then we went to their little beach place, and I was like, these people are wealthy. And they had a little party that evening, and I was there, having ridden myself halfway across the country and down the West Coast. Got these crazy stories that, like, I'm in the action. I'm not planning it. I'm not hoping about it. I'm, like, in it. I'm just observing life. And only a couple people talked to me that night. Like, truly sit back and talk to me. Like, as a human being. There's cordial, like, "Hey, how you doing?" And then in and out. And I just kept observing. And then I stay there that night. The next day we go back to the country club or the Bel Air Bay Club for lunch. Skip lunch that day. They get mad at me. They're like, "Oh, we know you don't got any money. Why didn't you ask for lunch?" I'm like, "I'm kind of content. I don't need anything right now."
Yeah.
So I stay one more night and then I leave. Just soaked it all in. It went by like a flash. And the lady, her name was Cookie. She asked me, she's just like, "You're not normal."
The myth of normal. What is normal anyway?
Yeah, exactly. She's like, "Usually people that we've helped like this, they typically ask us for something." And I was just like, "Well, ma'am, I don't need anything.
Yeah.
I have everything that I need right here, right now.
Oh man.
I am a leaf and I am just floating through life, and this is great. I'm just observing it. Material things I put behind me. I don't need. I love to do the physical stuff. I kind of need that. But that's just life. And then I just get up back on my bike, head down to San Diego and catch a flight to the East Coast, and then ride back to Missouri. And tons of like interactions with human beings across the country. Again, from the poorest of the poor to the wealthiest of the wealthy. And most of the stories that I remember from that of life lessons that changed my life completely, was the relationships that I built with those people. They gave me hope again to plan the next chapter in my life. But I learned that material wealth isn't going to give me happiness at all, because I saw it. Yeah. You know how many miserable people I saw at the Beverly Hills Country Club and the Bel Air Bay Club that day? They had more money than you could think about, but they were not happy.
Yeah.
Their son was mad at their mother for helping me.
Really?
I blew my mind. This guy's
the one that you were staying with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blew my mind. This guy's driving around in a brand new Audi.
Mm-hmm.
His parents probably bought him a little condo up in Pacific Palisades.
Yeah.
And they got a place out in the desert. They're all driving around fancy cars, tons of money.
Yeah.
Which, kudos to them. Whatever they did, right?
Yeah.
That's good for them. But I can tell you right now, I felt happier than they were at that moment. And they had everything right there at their expense, and I had nothing.
Yeah.
Besides like the opportunities that were in front of me. And that's what I was looking forward to.
Wow.
And I left, and I kept in touch.
Mm-hmm.
And Carl's just like, listen, this is the book that changed my life.
Let's hear it again. What's the name of that book?
Psycho-Cybernetics by Maltz.
Psycho-Cybernetics.
And at that point, I was able to really look at logic and use all the education that I had acquired, which I think education is the opportunity that unlocked all these avenues for me. And also being able to put that emotion in the trap and not really sitting in it for a long time. So, yeah, it was fascinating. That trip, I learned a lot. And then I remember reflecting for about a week, not being in a rush, because society is always in a rush.
Yeah. My next thing.
Yeah, I'm just like, nah, be a little patient.
Yeah.
And I thought about it, and I was like, what is the most important thing in life? And I was like, well, I can't take any of that stuff with me. If there is an afterlife, relationships are the only thing I'll have. So I might as well forge the strongest, everlasting relationships that I possibly could and see how that allows me to be successful.
Wow. Man, I hope people are hearing this. This is definitely going to be something I'm going to listen to again. I'm not an artist to hear myself, but some of the guests we have on here, I just want to hear it again, what they say, because it takes you a few times to listen. And sometimes you're not always tuned in, right? But wow, that is relationships with people, man. It means so much. There's one thing I've said on here before, MGC times 2, right? I had a friend of mine, mentor of mine, Jenna Tang. She said, make good choices. She said that shit to everybody. You're like, yeah, duh, make good choices. But like, really, it's what you were talking about earlier about like action by action, make good choices, logical ones. Like what's not just fused up by emotion. Sometimes they'll align. That's cool. But more times than not, you're right to go with the emotion, to set the emotion aside and go with the logic. But the other part of it is move, which is exactly what you did. This was crazy because this is why I got to say it, because it's funny. We meet and you check in and here we are. It's really like some aligning of something bigger than probably, just MGC. I say MGC times 2. The first part is make good choices. The second part is move. If you're in a shitty moment, move. Gratitude. You got something to be thankful for. You know, in the ancient times, they say if we all put we're in the middle of a basketball court, we all put our problems to the center of the court, to center court, right there. By the end of everybody else pushing their shit in, most of the time we're all going to be like, you know what, let me get my shit back. Let me get my problems back right quick, right? So gratitude. We all have something to be grateful for. But the third one is, and I think this is the most important, and you could do this too, we're in a very innovative time. Y'all are hearing me right now thanks to technology that we have here in this conversation, but it's connect. MGC. Move, Gratitude, Connect. And I put so much on Connect because that's the community. That's the like it or not, we're all we got. That's that one team, one fight, that sympathy. Like, human beings can't do shit by themselves. It just doesn't happen. Now, there might be some deities, there might be some things that move through us and we're propelled and mentors and stuff like that. But, like, face value, we can't do anything by ourselves. And to go on that journey, that up, that down, all those valleys and the few peaks, and then to come to the conclusion that relationships, it's just, I didn't pay him to be on here or to say that. I'm just saying it just reinforces so much. It's crazy.
Yeah,
so,
I think.
Thank you for that.
No problem. I mean, I've been here in Japan for 4.5 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we just met
Yeah.
we just met a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So no, it's just this is just life,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I don't know what avenues are going to open in the future, and for those that are out there that are struggling with things, just take a deep breath, figure out what you want to act on, and then act upon it.
Yeah.
Because it's just like life has so many different amazing opportunities out there for you that you may not even know.
Yeah.
Because you were like, did you even know what a bicycle was or cycling
Right.
was when I was 7?
Yes.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I had no idea, but I tried a new thing.
Tried a new thing. Yes.
I got out there. I met some new people, and maybe they weren't my type of people.
Right,
because
right.
you hear that all the time too.
Yeah.
I don't want to get involved. I don't really like those people. I made those comments when
Yeah.
I was younger, right? I was an athlete. I wanted to just be around the athletes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then I became more of an academic, and
Mhm.
I looked at the world really from a holistic point of view. Some people may say it's well-rounded, but I just looked at them for who they are and kind of how could I help them, or how could they help me,
Yeah.
right? Not really wanting an exchange of like,
Not in a utilitarian
Yeah.
sense, right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's 100% that plan, act, hope, repeat, rinse, repeat, because you're going to have to do it over and over and over again.
Yes.
My mother's like 66, still struggling
Yeah.
with mental stuff. I mean, she did get remarried. That marriage was good for about 16 years.
That's a hell of a about. That's 16 years. That's a good chapter.
And then she's back on her own at 60 something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, imagine,
Yeah.
right? You never know what's going to get thrown at you. And I think the more resilient that you become, the more obstacles that you're going to be able to tackle that maybe get hard,
Yeah.
right? I think life's supposed to throw a lot of obstacles at us,
Yes.
because education is something that, we should be using on a daily basis.
And it's not just book or literary or, or academic. It's the education of life. That you probably just got a master's in human behavior just doing that journey.
I
Probably
think
doctorates almost. Shit.
one, the United States is a beautiful place. 2, the American people are beautiful people. But 3, if I had a child, and we're not having children for some, we're just not.
Yeah.
It's just not on the cards. But if I did, I would encourage them to do the exact same trip, ride their bike across the United States, see the United States from an economic standpoint.
Yeah.
See the individuals that are extremely wealthy on the West Coast that not all are happy,
Right.
but also look at the individuals that are in the Virginia-Kentucky border that are miners,
Yeah.
that are covered in soot, that are just smiling ear to ear
Yep.
because they have more gratitude,
Yeah.
and they're looking at life differently,
Yeah.
because it's all about a choice.
Yeah.
If we wake up every morning and we look at the day and say, well, this is going to be a terrible day, well, you just set the tone. Change the tone, get out and play the music you want to hear.
Ooh, man, that's fucking good right there. Play the music you want to hear.
Right? I mean, it's when I get down, I go on a bike ride.
Yeah.
Even when I'm not down, I go on a bike ride. Well, because I like to ride my bike. But
Right.
I get to see so many different things.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, I think the human race has changed to now we're using technology. We're sitting in the same space. We're looking at the same stuff. We're staring at the same stupid screens. When the best graphics are no graphics,
Mm.
And if we get out and see the world, like all our ancestors did when they migrated from food source to water source to food source to shelter, we could actually make a difference. Because we are not supposed to be just idle all the time.
No, that's. I'm so glad you said that, and I just want to echo that again, man. We are not meant to be idle, and I love that you said the 9 surgeries, and I've had a host of them myself, and this expression really helps me, and is that you don't stop playing because you get old. You get old, folks, because you stop playing. Now, I don't know what that is. Somebody might have just thought of basketball. Somebody just might have thought of cycling. Somebody might have just thought about playing cards professionally. I don't know what it is, but you don't perish, or those skills don't become perished because of they rust out or they wear out. They rust out. That's why. And I think it was I was actually listening to something the other day, but talking about Teddy Roosevelt and how he said that in life you either rust out or you wear out. And he said, I'd rather wear out. Yeah. Like, and that was a guy that, if we look at his story of resilience, like physically he was like he could have just been in a wheelchair and felt sorry for himself, but he didn't. Like, he trained like before, like gyms and all that kind of stuff was, and then obviously all of the journeys he went on, and then getting shot in the middle of the street. You know what I mean? And then what I love too about him, just to go ahead and name drop some more on Teddy Roosevelt, is complaining without a solution. Stating a problem without a solution is called whining. That's called whining. Stating a problem without a solution is called whining. So that's part of that PA. That's what I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna remember this forever. This conversation. Keyword PA. I gave you another acronym here. Plan, act, hope. PA. Over and over and over again. So through all that, right? I just want to follow the timeline here. So you do the journey across the country. You went through the coaching thing. You tried entrepreneurship. Obviously, the struggle still. Also, in the same time, though, remember this too. In the back of your mind, playing on a loop is not am I good enough, but when you hit those valleys, am I like they are? Whatever your they is, everybody has a they in their family or in their past, right? Am I going to be just like them or whatever like that? But it seems like before you got to a point of no return, or a point of what we'd say in like the color codes of red, to where now you're mentally impaired, to where you might think of taking a serious action against yourself or someone else or something. You said, oh, fuck this, got to reset, got to go do something. And it seems like every time you moved out of that situation, in some way you took action and you just went. And you went with confidence, and really nothing to have confidence in, but just like, we're going to see where this goes, and finding the opportunities and the obstacles, and seeing all of these people from all over the country, which more or less we all want the same things, and it doesn't matter what your demographics are, whether it doesn't matter. All the things you can't control, how you look, how you talk, where you're from, what you look like, what to this point in time, what you've been raised to believe in. All these things are things we cannot control, but pretty much we all just kind of want the same things. You have all these epiphanies, you get this doctorates basically, and you collect the doctorates in human behavior, and then 41 said, I want to join the Navy. I know I probably just skipped over a few years there, but what happened there in the middle?
Oh man, in the middle. So I got done with the ride 2010. Obviously I'd worked at that coaching firm right before that. Mm-hmm. And then basically was still wanting to coach, because I started creating, I was like, wow, this coaching online thing will work. Mm-hmm. So, I go back and look at my tax returns. I think there was years I was making like $7,000 a year. I was like, but I was making it happen.
Making it happen, folks. Making it happen.
I was making it happen, and I was like, well,
$7,000 is definitely below the lower class line. Yeah, that's for sure.
I think so. Yeah,
I think so. I think so. And that's no diss. That's just saying what it is. It's just numbers. That's just math.
So I was, I don't know. There's a lot of things in between. I mean, I didn't really care about the monetary stuff. I just want to see myself happy doing the things that I love to do. And
but not happy all the time, because that can't happen, right?
Oh, you can't. I mean, it's
just like, reiterate that, folks. Let's reiterate that.
Yeah. No, I mean, and that goes back to the poster, right? With all those different expressions of emotions.
I feel like a 3.
Yeah. Well, the thing about it is, though, you have to sit in those emotions a little bit, right? Okay. Because that's who we are.
Yeah.
But you can't sit in them all the time, right? It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be frustrated. It's okay to be a little bit depressed. It's okay to be something, but that's not what defines you.
Thank you for cleaning that up, because I definitely don't want to put the message off that, like, as soon as something happens, run away from it. I'm going to go run right now. You know, like, sometimes you got to clear your mind, put yourself in a different headspace, but at the same time, we had a doctor on here the other day that was talking about that when you avoid it, you make the trauma or the pain even worse. So you do have to do exactly what you're saying. I said do. You do have to do. You do have to actually sit in it, reflect, but there's a line and where you have to, like, okay, now this is becoming its own trap in itself.
Yep.
If I sit in this too long.
Yeah,
right?
well stated. Yeah, it's you know, and I've learned those lessons, and it took me a long time because, you know, I've had different things in my head. Well, what if I could have been this? What if I could have done that? What if I would have been this? What if I would have, you know, because I wanted to be a professional athlete.
Yeah.
I mean, that was it. Like, it didn't work out.
Yeah.
Right. But eventually professional athletes have to go back to work.
Yes.
Right. I mean, they do. Even the most successful ones have businesses on the sides. They find something to keep their mind busy. So that's what I did. You know, I ran the coaching company for a little while, had some good years, had some bad years. You know, did a marketing stunt in 2014, rode across the country again just to see what it was like.
See if anything changed.
Yeah. Did the Southern Tier on a fixed gear bike, and did it in 21 days.
Across the country, 21 days?
Mm-hmm.
From where was the starting point?
So that was in Encinitas, California to St. Augustine. And then I spent 7 days riding down to Florida. And it was again one of those, maybe it'll help me make money, maybe it won't. Strava was starting to get big. Right?
Yeah.
So, you know, I logged like 1,000-mile weeks during that month because I was just like, might as well try it.
Yeah,
I mean,
might as well try it. Being open-minded and trying something, y'all.
Right? So, so I did that in 2014 or 2014. So in between, what did I do? I mean, as a coach, you don't make much money, so you just try to figure it out. Worked at some bike shops along the journey. During college, when I went back in 2015, had my econ background, so I kept studying, got a Series 65 in financial planning, worked at a tax firm, and then really didn't like that. Was still, you know, searching for that place where the puzzle piece fit.
Yeah.
Right? In life. Where am I going to feel the most content?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm there, maybe I'm not. I don't know. Life's always going to just change, but I feel there right now. I love the job that I'm in. But it took a long time to get there.
Right.
And I think the reason why it took a long time was because I wasn't ready. Some people may be younger and they get the lessons of life at a really young age, but I happen to get them at a little bit older age because I did spend a lot of time in emotion and a lot of time in thought of just combating the obstacles that were thrown in front of me instead of looking at the obstacle, figuring out how to go around the obstacle, go through the obstacle, throw the obstacle on my back, carry it with me to make the change that I wanted to make in life.
Yeah.
Right? So my wife and I, or my girlfriend at the time, wife now, I was just like, you know, this job looks really cool. I could be an aerospace and operational physiologist in the Navy. I want to instruct. That's what I wanted. That's why I went back to school for. I wanted to be a teacher. So I was just like, let's put in the application and see what happens.
Right.
And if I get it, let's do it because it's a journey. It's another adventure in life. I had nothing in my mind of like what it was going to be like on the other side of the military world.
I don't think many of us do.
Yeah. So I was just kind of like, oh, wow. Let's try it. Maybe the grass is green there. Maybe it's not. But
it's always going to be green where you water it, though.
It's green where you water it.
Unless it's fake grass, because some people have those lawns. But you know what I'm saying? Like it's still fake grass.
So 9 surgeries put me in a position of waivers.
Of course.
Right? So I kept asking the questions. I kept asking the questions. Listen, this is, you know, what do I need to do to get in? This is something I really want to try. This is something I really want to like have Because let's face it, when I was 18, I was either going to school to play ball or I thought I was probably going into the Army. Because that's what a lot of people did in Kansas. Like, you joined some type of service, some type of branch if you didn't go to school. Because that was a way out of that little town.
That's right.
Right? So I always had that bug, I think, to go back and serve. And then after you get to see the United States by bike, learn about the people and what you can do for them.
Man, that's beautiful.
It all kind of came and coalesced into this. Yep, at 41, they're going to let you in.
I want to protect and defend these people and their way of life, whatever that may be, but they're able to live it. And that is a thing. I mean, we live in times, and I don't ever want to make this a political show or get into it, but we are in a time where there's a lot of the world's falling apart. And I love what Aziz Ansari said. Like he said in one of his comedy specials, he was like, the shit's really hit the fan. And that's what everybody says right now. And he's like, if you look at the fan in our history of America or the history of the world, it's never really been a shitless fan. You know what I'm saying? It's always been something. But there's some great humans and there's some great people. And we got some things to work on, of course, right? We're always a work in progress. As a nation, we're planning, acting, and hoping every day, I hope. But this is definitely worth defending. And I'd argue it's worth dying for because it's just a beautiful thing when people are allowed to do what they feel they want to do. And all of those things, all of those struggles, there was definitely some confines or some shackles that could have been placed on you if you'd have trapped yourself in life. But through it all, you had that free will to be able to make the choice that you saw was best. And that, to me, for someone else, man, that's when you reach that, when you do reach that point of those small epiphanies in life, and they come and they go, and they're like, oh shit, I got to figure this shit out again. Those moments of clarity, to be able to find that the way you wanted to find it, not the system, not the state forced us to find it, not some rule made us to find it, but you found it based off of you wanting to. That's a beautiful thing, and again, that's worth dying for, in my opinion. And these, we're not all perfect, and I don't agree with every single American. And that's what kind of makes it beautiful, because I can say that and I get stoned for it, but it's worth defending. And that external service and in providing for others is a beautiful thing. And then for anyone listening out there who may be contemplating service in an organized form or fashion, and this is never a recruiting thing, but man, I wouldn't be where I'm at without it, and there's a lot of other people that wouldn't. A lot of those people you spoke to and alluded to get out. It is a gateway to be able to meet a lot of interesting people and have a lot of interesting experiences. Look what I'm sitting across the table from right now, and going and seeking to serve, and that's two individuals coming together, which, wow, man, thinking about, some people are like, I can't never join because I got this or I got that. You joined at 41, you said, after 9 surgeries? Yep. How'd that process go? How was MEPS?
Shitty. It was pretty shitty, to be honest with you. I listened to my recruiter. Yeah. Because on the medical side, he was just like, listen, you're not eligible. Yeah. Straight out the gate. You
not eligible. So uneligible to join based on physical stuff.
That's what I thought. Right. And that's what they initially thought. But I don't think that was necessarily the case. 41, the cutoff was 42 on the medical side. Okay. Right. So we started diving into my history. We started looking at, every single thing. My medical book is probably 2 inches thick, and I put it in front of them, and I hid nothing whatsoever. I went through and I was like, listen, I've had this TBI, I've had this. Yeah. We need to look at this. And most of them are all sports-related injuries. Right. I mean, I've had 9 of them. And I was like, listen, I could go into your PRT right now and ace it. I went back to school after I had a bike crash, and I've had numerous run-ins with the wall when I was playing college baseball. So I had some TBIs, but I documented everything. Yeah. And my recruiter was just like, okay, perfect. I think we got a great package. Let's put it in, see what happens. Mm-hmm. And they came up with I needed a couple waivers for a shoulder surgery, and that was it. Wow. So it was almost a 2-year process going back and forth with MEPS to put a legit application in that wouldn't meet, any red flags as far as, ineligible. Whenever the first response, oh, you've had 9 surgeries, you're not going to be eligible.
Yeah.
Well, I just kept asking the questions. Well, is that true?
Mm-hmm.
Because I've heard that may not be the case.
Mm-hmm.
Could you relook at this? They got it in front of the whole medical scene, and they looked at it, and they're like, yeah, this guy's actually eligible.
That's awesome.
Without this one waiver.
But like similar to the letter you wrote to the landlord out in Florida.
Yeah, in Florida.
You don't know until you ask.
Yeah.
And until you're open-minded enough and have the courage to ask. So just take that as a little feather in your cap, folks, a lesson right there to put in your toolbox. Just ask and try the system. Don't just look at like face value. The recruiter, the expert at joining people was like, hell no, this ain't gonna work. But you asked and you tried and it worked out.
Well, I had to talk to 2 recruiters locally just to find a medical recruiter because I had no idea what the job was. I mean, there's only like 100 people in the Navy that are physiologists. So it was such a small little niche organization that, I just kept asking questions. I was like, this is something I really like to do. Can we look into it? And it was like walking up to that door that's locked, and then you're in the dark, but on the floor are all these keys, and you're just searching what key unlocks this door.
Yeah.
In like 2.5 years of being
one of them's here, I know it.
You find a key and it unlocks, and you open it up, and you're like, there it is. That's kind of what it felt like, because it was a struggle. I was like, this is something I really want to do. I looked at the Air Force program, and I looked at this program, and I wanted to be on the Navy side because that was a lot more operational experience. There's a lot more opportunity to learn environmental physiology, and that's kind of what I wanted to do, and that's kind of what we do in addition to many other hats.
Yeah. You always gotta wear some collaterals, right? Yeah.
True.
That's so cool. Yeah. What we were talking about recently, this isn't to butter you up. I was talking with one of our colleagues, and I was like, what is it about this freaking job, man? Because the person that was in the seat before you was just this amazing human being. Oh, and I was like, I don't know if we can ever find somebody as good as her. Like, she was like literally the queen of the mountain. Like, I forgot what they call it, but she's beast. Like, and I love it because, a lot of Marines and stuff are like, oh, Navy's soft. And I'm like, you ain't met her. You ain't met Jenny, right? And then you come along, and I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, where do they find these superhumans at? Like, I thought the Navy just had these in, like, Navy SEALs and stuff like that, but special operators. And then apparently in this, I can't even say the full definition of the job, y'all got some amazing people in that job, man. Is there like some character background assessments that they have to do or something? Because it's like physically fit, mentally fit, knowing themselves, just back to back amazing people in one job, but of the same exact military occupational specialty. So it's crazy. Is that a common thread across? I mean, I know you probably don't want to talk bad about your peers and stuff like that, but are a lot of the people in this niche fields?
Yeah, nothing to talk bad about my peers, to be honest.
That's amazing.
I mean, there's last time I checked, there's about 100 of us, give or take. There's
the few of the proud.
Yeah, amazing people, to be honest with you. I mean, as far as human beings, like, there's individuals that came in their late 30s, early 30s, right out of school.
Yeah.
There's lateral transfers. I mean, there's been some, and there are, not past tense, there's some amazing people. Like,
that's awesome.
Jenny's amazing.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
boss lady.
Yeah.
Boss.
I mean, I'm still trying to hold my own at 44, and like these I want to call them kids, but the individuals in their late 20s, early mid 20s, to try to hold my own. I've got a lot to prove to myself every day, and that goes back to that flag I carry, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of Olympic athletes, they're in the pursuit of excellence, knowing that there's no excellence, they can be the best they want to be at that age.
Ooh.
That's what I shoot for.
Wow.
Right. I wanted to be the best 12-year-old I could be.
There you go.
I wanted to be the best 19-year-old, baseball player that I could be. But now that I'm 44, I want to be the best husband, the best naval officer, best MSC community, best AOP community, but also the best human being I could possibly be in this moment. And if I can't do that on a daily basis, I'm probably should move on.
Yeah.
Because now, being in the Navy officer position, it's my job to lead. It's my job to step up to the table and basically put myself out there, whether it be vulnerable because we are humans, or if we get that stigma, which I don't like, because I want to be just in the crowd,
Yeah.
Doing extraordinary things, even though we're doing ordinary things. Definitely want to try to take the challenge on.
Yeah.
Right. Because you don't know if you're going to be able to do it.
Right.
I mean, we change jobs every 3 years, and I look at different
Literally.
people, and I'm like,
Yeah.
well, are they figuring it out? Maybe not.
Mhm.
They're still figuring it out. I'm
Yeah.
still figuring it out. Let's work together
Yes. Together.
to move forward, because we've all got different missions that we have to accomplish. It's no different on the outside. I get a lot of kids come up to me like, why did you join the Navy at 41?
Mhm.
I've been in for one tour and I'm ready to get out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, well, look down at your feet, wherever you plant your roots, wherever you decide to make a stand, and find yourself, whether it be on this side or that, you'll find success. Right? And it's all about choices. Right? I made the choices to come in. The people in my community are just unbelievable with the choices that they've made to give them the persona that we're extraordinary. We always consider ourselves ordinary.
Mm-hmm.
When you get around extraordinary people, they bring you up.
That's true.
Right? They challenge you. I've been challenged in this organization in the last 3 years. I've grown. There's people that I've butted heads with. It's just like, oh my gosh, what is going on?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, that was a lesson that I needed.
Yeah.
Because I thought I was somewhere where I was not, and I took a few steps back with the help of their constructive criticism or their guidance or their mentorship to allow me actually to grow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very stubborn. I was very stubborn at a young age. That's what I think delayed me getting to someplace that would deem successful in society, even though I see success differently.
Right.
But if I allow those individuals to give me what they needed to give me, I can be extraordinary like Jenny.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's different. Like, I don't know. It's a different canvas for everybody, but I'm looking forward to all the challenges that come. I know we're getting on a lot of tangents today.
No, I love it.
It's early.
And
It's
this,
early.
No, but this is the beauty of this free flowing conversation, and this is why I wanted to do this with you, because I've had a few people come like, "Hey, man, y'all need to talk," and then you hit me up, just because it's so reassuring to see, and for anybody else out there listening, but just for me to see somebody else who's embracing the struggles, the challenges as they come, and being like, okay, what can I get from this? What can I learn from this? Okay, this shit ain't it. And you got to switch it up, hit a change step in life. And that's just how life is. But to see somebody go through the fires and come out the other side and go, yeah, I'm still figuring it out. And to be humble about that is very reassuring for all of us. But he didn't get there by sulking. He didn't get there by using any kind of victim cards. Now, again, being a victim of something is real. I'm not trying to downplay that. Being hurt, being violated or assaulted or any of those things are real. But to stay in it the rest of your life and to be a victim of it, this is a victor that we're sitting in front of right now. You're a victor. You've chosen to take these things and use them as strengths and try to grow from them. And that is much easier said than done. But one of the coolest things, I think, I mean, you said a lot of good things, but it brings back to something I always try to reiterate to all of our people, because, we always don't have the coolest of jobs sometimes, or the coolest of tasks. Like you said, from looking at it from the outside and then being in, it's like, oh, snap. We see the recruiting commercials and we see, like, jumping out of planes and all this craziness and stuff like that. That's not the day-to-day. That's not always the day-to-day. But I love that you said, well, I'm going to be the best this. I'm going to be the best 12-year-old. I'm going to be the best of this. And one of the things that in my shop and we talk a lot about is being street sweepers. And that goes to not so famous speech that I'm trying to make famous. I'm trying to make it famous for him in his afterlife. But Dr. King 6 months before he was assassinated, talked to a Barrett Junior High School in Philadelphia and spoke to these young kids, and he told them these following words, and this is exactly in line with what you say, and this is what I try to remember all the time when we get these little tasks that sometimes it's like, what? I want to do this. I'm gonna be the best bagger I am today. I'm gonna be the best, inventory guy in the world today. But he said this. And this is old school talk for if it happens to find out. But if you've lived in trailer parks, you know what lot means because you pay lot rent. But but yep. Lot means if you find yourself in this situation. So he says, if it falls your lot to be a street sweeper, sweep streets like Michelangelo painted pictures. Sweep streets like Beethoven composed music. Sweep streets like Shakespeare wrote poetry. Sweep streets so well that all the hosts of heaven and earth will have to pause and say, here lived a great street sweeper. If you can't be a pine on the top of the hill, be a shrub in the valley, but be the best little shrub on the side of the hill. For it isn't by size that you win or you fail. Be the best of whatever you are. That's what he said. And I know he's very famous for a lot of other speeches. But that right there it just resonates. And obviously another part of talking about resilience, he says the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands in times of challenge and controversy. That's when we show who we are. It's easy to be, this is a comfortable, convenient moment for us. We're reflecting. It's good. And that's not to take away or dismiss anything. But in that next time that you're on whatever said mile race, or you're in that challenge or that struggle of a task that you don't want to do, or you're disagreeing with somebody, it's like, okay, this is what all the training's for. This is what all of it's for. It's leading up to this moment. So that's why if you see right here, this is on my little journal. My daughter drew this broom for me, and I'll eventually get it tattooed. But I try to keep my broom at the ready. It's not a weapon. It's not. Let me keep my Rambo knife or my M16 or my 9mm or whatever it is, or my 6 Sauer or whatever. No, keep my broom at the ready, because there's always going to be some street to sweep, and that's a metaphor, obviously. But sometimes in life we just got to embrace being the best 12-year-old, being the best friggin' mechanic, being the best wrench turner, being the best whatever that is, because that's what you've been set forth to do. And back to your mother's point, that might be setting you up to be able to share your gift, whatever that may be, with somebody else. And as somebody else who's also very stubborn, I'm talking about mothers, my mother I grew up my whole life being told I was stubborn, and it's true, and I own it, and I'm very stubborn, but I've become less stubborn over the years and more open-minded to things. That has helped me, this is just me, find different outlets and find different avenues of expression, of stress release, of healthy outlets, which is one thing we always try to talk about on here. But I wouldn't have found them if I'd have stayed stubborn and focused on just what I knew at the time. So I say that as a lesson to anybody out there to take this man's example. There's many times along the way where you could have sat and just said, woe is me, world fucked me over, 2008 crisis, or my dad left, my dad's not here, death by suicide runs in my family, substance abuse runs in my family, my mother's single mother, single parent, I'm going to feel sorry for my fucking self. Oh, I got injuries, can't be an athlete, now I'm just going to not be nothing in life. But you found a purpose and a sense of meaning in other things, in other ways, but ultimately in service and in relationships. And I think that is just such a lesson for all of us to listen to. And it's a journey. This is not a short thing. This is not going to happen overnight. It's a day by day, brick by brick, action by action, making good choices, and they add up to something, right? And if you don't like the way the fuck they're adding up right now, forgive my language, but change it. Change it. Do something. Do something different. But I think it's so cool that you could. What's really cool is that we don't always get to see, because we joined so young, we don't get to always see all the people that we do protect and defend. And I think that was one of the coolest parts about what you just shared, was that you got to see the highs, the lows, the high class, the low class, the middle class, the everybody else sleeping. Literally, like, you were homeless too, technically, right? You weren't bikeless, but you had a bike. Yeah. But you're out there with everyone, from Beverly Hills, from Bel Air, country clubs, to ditches. And that's just that's cool. Was there any moments in there where you're just like on that journey where like, the fuck am I doing? Even though there was some contentment, I'm sure, but it was like, dude, what am I doing?
I don't think so.
That's beautiful. That's so cool.
To be honest with you, I mean, there might have been, but I was taking in such new stuff and moving, like,
and learning and growing and thinking about like what I'd gone through and where I'm going, and not even knowing what's next, right? I mean, you can think about it, but then it's just like, well, that'd be good. But then you don't act on it, so maybe it's just a thought. I mean, we get thousands of thoughts every single day, and we don't act on, 99% of them.
Some of those are good ones not to act on, folks. Don't act on all
which
of them.
Which are good.
Keeping it real can't go wrong, as you've seen on the Chappelle show.
yeah, Chappelle does say it.
Keeping it real goes wrong.
But I was so engaged with the moment that the past wasn't really a thought of what was going to affect my future.
Yeah.
There was time, obviously, to reflect, but there's a movie that was really impactful. It's also a book. It's called The Peaceful Warrior. I can't think of the author right now, but it's a story about an Olympic athlete that shatters their leg as a gymnast, and they try to fight themselves back to competition shape to be able to go out and fight, basically. And not necessarily fight in that way, but just try to fight for success. And that book and that movie allowed me to like sit in the moment, to split emotion and logic, because I was really stubborn in the sense that I would really be all about emotion.
Yeah.
Right. But being in the moment on that trip didn't really allow me those thoughts, to be honest with you.
Too busy going on to the next thing? Or too busy like
I was
surviving?
I was really to quote a busker, that I was just enjoying the moment, to be honest with you. I was enjoying the process of travel.
Wow.
And soaking in life and looking at things differently, because when we're in our heads, we think about the way life should be, right?
Shoulds, yeah.
Oh, wow, why is it like this?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, but if you're under the age of 100, you should never be thinking like that. You should be looking at the way differently, because there's 360 degrees on a compass. And if you're looking at life that way, you're only looking at that in 1 degree.
Ooh.
There's 359 other ways to look at this. And if you haven't looked at more than 150 or all of them, you really should think about the way you're looking at life. Because being in the moment and seeing things differently, it's going to occur, right? I mean, Cam, you see things differently than I do. Mm-hmm. You got experiences. You've got different family experiences. You got different military experiences than me. We're going to look at something. We can walk into this, open this door, look on the other side, and something brand new looks at us. And you're going to take in and see something completely 180 degrees, right?
True.
But being in the moment allowed me to really look and pause and say, okay, I'm not going to make decisions emotionally until I start looking at things 20 degrees or more, and then I'll really make the decision. Does it take time and it take pause and like, okay, I'm going to move a little bit slower? There's nothing wrong with that. We move so slow as a human race when we are migrating across the country looking for that shelter and food. But we are inundated with information that is just absolutely crazy this day. I mean, this day and age, whenever we get flooded with all this information, how do you make the right choice?
Yeah.
How do you get educated on this? Well, this person, I trust this person, but they told me that, but that's wrong, right? Well, look at it. I mean, you shouldn't give your opinion on a book until you read 100 books on the same topic.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, historically speaking, if a history teacher is going to walk in, they're not going to regurgitate what they read on social media the day before and say, well, this is the way it is. No, that individual's going to take all that information in, conceptualize it, look at it, compare it, and then formulate their own opinion about the subject. But you can't do that with just one interaction.
No, you cannot.
Right? You can't judge people with one interaction.
No.
You got to take 360 degrees of you, which maybe it's 360 times with that individual, before you make an opinion about anything.
Yeah.
And I think that's what helped me stay out of that historical view of like, oh, poor me. Oh, my mom. Oh, she's struggling. My brother's, he's successful. Why am I not successful?
Mm-hmm.
Why did this guy go pro and I didn't go pro? Why did I get this injury and that guy not? But it all comes back to kind of like absorbing the moment, enjoying where you are, because where we are is probably where we're supposed to be.
That's deep right there. That's hard to accept sometimes, and it's hard to want to wrestle with. But that is, I mean, if you're in the Bel Air Country Club, maybe that's like, yep, where I'm supposed to be. But there's also times where you're gonna be in the ditch.
I'm not a fan of this, but I'll tell you, like, riding across Kansas, I think it was probably my first weekend. I'm riding right on the side of the road, just like in the middle of the prairie, most beautiful scenery. Being from Kansas, I love the open nature.
It's a little biased, folks.
A little biased, yeah.
Biased.
There's like one
flat. So
there's like one tree right next to me, and I hear this. Where are you going? I'm like, I turn and look. I'm like, oh, how long you been there? Guy perks up and goes, just trying to get some shade, man. How long you been out on the road? Oh, I've been out on the road for about 50 days. How about you? Only about a week. Guy's sitting right next to me, enjoying a little smoke. And I was just like, you mind if I have a moment and just sit down?
Yeah.
So I sit and I go, what are you doing today? And he was just like, man, brother, I just ride shade to shade.
Shade to shade.
Shade to shade. There's no shade out here, man. I go, how long are you going to go today? He's like, maybe 10 miles. I was just like, he was just enjoying the day. And he just rooted me in that moment. And I remember it's such a vivid moment of like the sun rising or the sun setting out on one side, and like there was this train track, freshly cut harvest, and I was just enjoying every bit of it. I mean, you could hear the meadowlarks, you could just hear the wind crossing the prairie, and then this guy is just telling me a story. And I was just like, yep, I'm just going to soak it in. So that guy reiterated that story of the peaceful warrior of like, listen, you just got to live in the moment. Get down to San Francisco.
Yeah.
Guy gives me his telephone, reconnect, hang out for like 3 days in San Francisco with this guy.
That same guy.
Same guy.
He found some shade.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Shade to shade.
He finally made it home
Wow.
on his journey. But it was just moments like that where you just kind of like, oh, yeah, I am truly a leaf in the wind. The wind could take me this way, it could take me that way, it could rain, could be here for a bit until I dry out, and then I'll get up and I'll flow, and I'll just keep moving through life. And I think that was what really, like, gave me the confidence to be like, whatever obstacle that comes in my way in the future, I'll be able to really tackle. And it may suck.
Yeah.
It may suck. I mean, pros and cons, like talking about job, like coming from this side, 21 years on that side, there's no side that's better.
Y'all heard that. So don't let the green grass fool you.
Keep singing it, Cam.
It changed your mind. That's a cadence that we sing sometimes.
Okay.
And it's not to brainwash people to keep them in or anything like that, but it's just like, don't let the green grass fool you. Don't let it change your mind. Like grass is always going to be green where you water it. So you're talking about a man, 21 years of experience on the outside of it, and then he's inside of it, and he's saying, hey, it's the same rules to the game. Same rules to the game, and it's not much different. It's where you water it.
I mean, we're not blessed to be financially independent. If we were, we wouldn't be here unless we really wanted to serve.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of people in the other side, they wouldn't be working unless they were that 1% of 1%.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody is going to be doing something for money throughout their whole life. Right?
It's just the name of the game.
It's just part of life, right? Unless you do it smart. I mean, I give a lot back, and I like to teach a lot of the financial stuff with my econ background. And I did a lot of teaching while I was up at Whitby on that topic. So you just keep that in mind. It's just like choices you make in life financially will determine your future, right? Where you spend your time determines your future.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Well, that's it. Whether it's in a bad habit, well, guess what? You're going to be in a bad habit. If you want to make the change to get into something better, well, where you spend your time determines your future. So, after that trip, I decided that I'm not going to spend time in negativity and in the mindset of, no, poor me. I wonder what my uncle is going to be like.
Yeah.
Et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
I wonder how my father's doing.
Right.
Right. My father's a janitor, by the way. So when you think about pushing the broom,
Yeah.
I mean, that's it.
That's it.
Right. I mean, it's just part of it. And if that's what you're meant to be the best you can possibly be at that. So, I don't know. Life's a challenge, man. Put somebody in your ballpark that can help stand you up.
Mm.
Right. I mean, when I met my wife in 2014, we didn't get married until 2020. I think we were together for like 6 years. And I think she was eager to get married. And I was like, nope, you got student debt. Get rid of that and we can get married, which is weird.
Yeah.
But I'd already gone down that road, right? So it's just like lessons in life I didn't want to have to repeat.
Right.
In a way. So, but once I put her in my ballpark and on my team, I mean, things got easier.
That's
right?
wonderful.
Right.
That's what it's about at that team. And there's its own challenges that come along with trying to share life with somebody else.
Yeah.
But that company you keep, I think on our very first episode we had Devontae on here, and he had said that was it bad company corrupts good character, or something to that effect. It sounded like some old ancient shit, but it was really good. But basically, be careful with who you're calling friend and who you're keeping in your ballpark. That doesn't mean you have to act like you're better than anybody or whatever, but a healthy distance from some folks may be what's needed. And we don't know what we don't know. I try to emphasize that so much because I did not know what I didn't know. And I had vices and I had outlets that I just had only seen. That's not to blame anybody else. It's just to say that's what I knew. And that's what I was accustomed to. But you can embrace and find new things to put your time and effort into. And like the man said, if you want to determine your future, look at what you're doing right now and where are you putting your time at right now. So that's just something to think about. And when can you change that? When can you alter that? When can you enhance that? Right now. Right this second. You can be like, you know what? No more of this, no more of that. I'm switching this up, whatever it may be. I'm going to try something new. It's just, you can't keep repeating the same actions in the same setting with the same people and expect a different result. It's just not going to happen. It's literally insanity. So I reiterate these things because I know as humans we forget stuff. So I learned from Zig Ziglar a long time ago, reiterate. And like a great mentor of mine, Christopher Amancio, said, if you ain't said it in 60 days, you ain't said it at all.
Yeah.
So you got to kind of remind yourself, and we forgetful. And I mean, you're right. We're so inundated with so much information, right? And then everyone else's highlight reel, which is real as in REEL, not REAL. And it comparison is the thief of joy. I think they attribute that quote to Jefferson, but comparison is the thief of joy. To sit there and go, why am I not successful like my brother? What are you doing? What are you doing? Am I doing the best that I can? Because that might just be the position and the platform that propels you or gives you the position to be there for somebody else. I don't know. But I love that your mom said that if you don't tap into that gift, you're robbing the world of it, essentially, is what I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah, no, 100%.
I don't know if that was the exact quote, but if you don't tap into your full potential, folks, it doesn't just obviously screw over you because you didn't reach your full potential, but who along the way are you leaving out that could have been, I don't know, inspired, helped, or something? Because I say it again, human beings can't do nothing by themselves. We do it along with the help and the aid of others, or the inspiration of others, of working through others. So you over there half-assing it and slacking right now might be holding back somebody else, and you don't even realize who that somebody else is. So just think about that. If nothing else, you probably ain't setting a good example. You might just be making somebody else be just as shitty as you are. So think about that. I don't know, but find a reason to be a reason, and be reasonable and logical in that pursuit, because the emotions, they can mislead us. And they usually pass too, like clouds in the sky. Now, if they don't, you probably need to talk to somebody, and you sit in that muck too long, and there's nothing wrong with that. And we said it last week about a wellness omelet. Dude said I should make a t-shirt of this shit. But I was like, it's never just like the exercise, or I talked to the chaplain, or I got my money right, or then I started waking up early and I started paying attention to my nutrition, and I got my spiritual side pretty much better now, and my relationships. Like, it's not just one of those things. But as Americans, especially as modern humans on this planet, we want now. Like Ronnie Chang, shout out to Ronnie Chang's special on Netflix, fucking hilarious, so true. He's like, I want Prime now. I want Prime now. 2-day delivery, fuck that. Same day delivery, I want Prime now. I want you to put the food in my mouth right now. He also said that who would have thought having access to all of the world's information would have made us so fucking stupid. Forgive my language, don't want to offend anybody, but honestly, like, it's something to really think about. Like, we have all this access to so much information, but I don't know if we're always getting smarter.
I tend to agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we've capped our intellect, but I think we're not focusing on the right things.
So and everything's important.
Yeah.
And if everything's important, nothing is, right?
True. I mean, I think we rush into things. I think if we step back and we think about things, we may not repeat historical mistakes that were already made.
Oh, man. Man, that's a lesson for us all, from top to bottom, from left to right. That's a lesson for us all.
I mean, I think it's time for a lot of people to curb their stubbornness and their inability to take on challenges and look at other people's opinions and try to formulate something that will better all. I mean, I'm not looking for a utilitarian society, but it will help people if we do look at others more than we look at ourselves sometimes. You know, because everybody, I think I've heard you say this, that a lot of people are going through, you know, you don't know what their struggles are.
No, you don't.
Right? So if we are open and be a little bit vulnerable sometimes, which a lot of people don't want to do.
No.
Because we live in
I'm
this
hard.
closed off world. Like, you know, ask for help if you need help. You know, I was really reluctant to ask for help, and then I did. And then, you know, in college, it helped me tremendously.
Mm-hmm.
I need a tutor for this. Oh, what are they going to say if you got a tutor? I don't care what they say. I need help.
What's the end state?
Right? Coach is just going to like, we need to spend some more extra time, you know, swinging that bat afterwards. You know, I think you can be a better hitter.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'm already there. No, I think you can be better.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll come and listen.
Yeah.
I went from a 330 hitter to a 430 one hitter.
By being open-minded to criticism.
To looking at things different. To swinging at balls that were thrown over my head to fix a problem. Like, what is this old man thinking? Why is this crazy guy thinking with this?
Yeah.
You know, this little lesson. Fixed what I
Can't
need.
tell me I'm a scholarship athlete. What you talking about?
Yeah, but he fixed it, right?
Wow.
So you step back and you're like, well, that person has something I need. I don't realize it yet, but I'm going to go through the motions, and then eventually, wow, it's going to make me a better person.
Yeah.
You know, as a coach, my whole philosophy was, and mission was to extract the full potential of athletes through details.
The full potential.
Right.
There it is.
Extract full potential, EFP, whatever your EFP is, look at the details in life, figure out how to make the change, and then do it. Whether it's the mental game, the psychological aspect, or some type of like hindrance that you're putting on your physical nature, from hydration to sleep to stress to whatever it is, right? If you're not looking at every single detail, you're not going to hit your full potential. And everybody has more to give at whatever age you're at, right? It gets harder when we get older. I get it. But we have to wake up and make the decisions every single day. And you can't do it by putting the screen in front of your face and losing time. Time management these days has been lost. A lot of people, how's this person accomplished so much? I don't think I've accomplished much.
Right.
I've spent more time in the mental like doldrums than what I've probably had success with, as what other people see.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's life. There's so much time that I feel like I've wasted.
Yes. And
I could accomplish a lot more than I've already conceptually have done.
Right.
So it's interesting, like to look at all the details in my life and then try to figure out, okay, what else can I try to figure out? how can I do this? How can I do this? How can I make it better? Right? Maybe it's not better for me. Maybe it's better for someone else.
That's so key. You said that. Thank you for saying that. Maybe it's better for somebody else. I love that, man.
Right. I mean, it's because that's the struggle. We get selfish. We're like, what's in it for me? What's in it for me? What's in it for me? And it's just like, well, what'd Mom say? Those gifts aren't for you. Those gifts are for the people that you come in contact through your journey in life. And if you want to make an impact and have them as a friend upon departing this earth, pause, give of yourself, and you may, and maybe you won't, be fulfilled in ways that you can't imagine, right?
Man, that's good.
And that's what I feel like I've accomplished. Like, I still have struggles, you know. I haven't talked to my brother since 2010. I got back from my trip. 3 days later, you don't have a plan, get out. Hasn't talked to me.
Wow, man.
Right? I feel like I'm alone at some points, right? So, you know, that's one of those things like sister went down her struggles, brother, no father figure in. I kind of cut that off, which I probably should go after.
Yeah.
But it's just Mom.
Yeah.
It's just me and Mom right now. And then my wife, which is good. So, you know, whatever rock that you come out, you're flowing around, it's just kind of like, don't sit in it. Try to find help. Try to look at the details and find that full potential that you want to find within yourself, because it's there. I never thought it'd be me in the Navy.
You heard that? He didn't even, like, this wasn't it. So being open-minded to things, though, and looking at, you said all the details without overthinking, right? We don't want to, because overanalysis paralysis is a real thing where we overthink things to the point of not taking any action, right? But you didn't just look at small factors. You looked at all of the little factors. And when you're talking about extracting the full potential from the athletes, for someone, it might be like, dude, you need to sleep more.
Yeah.
Or, dude, you need to actually swing at those higher pitches. Or you need to, you know, everyone is different, but it's extracting their full potential. You weren't trying to make little mats. You weren't trying to make little minions or anything like that. You were just trying to extract their full potential. But you yourself even struggle. While you're out there trying to extract their full potential, you're not potentially meeting yours. And that's just the journey and struggle of life. But I love that you said about time, because time is the most valuable currency. Well, I won't say that valuable currency, because it's the currency that we have in the day-to-day. But I love what Jim Carrey said, the effect you had, talking about coaching, the effect you have on others is the most valuable currency there is. I definitely agree with that. But as far as in day-to-day moments and transactions, time, man. Time is just, it's something. And I think about Bruce Lee. You think about 32 years old, the man lived to be, but still making impacts, because I'm talking about him right now. But a quote he said was, if you love life, don't waste time, for time is what life is made up of. And just can't not get that out of your head. Echo that in your head. If you love life, don't waste time, for time is what life is made up of. And if we're all honest, we're wasting some time a lot of times in our life. No pun intended. A lot of times we're wasting a lot of time. And it's just the truth, and we're not being the best us that we can be. And the best you is different from the best Cam, is different from the best Matt. But are you seeking that? And in that, we're not going to be perfect, but as you got gifts. Everyone does. Everyone has some things that you just are just good at, that if you work at, you'll be better at. But if you don't fully embrace those or extract the full potential of those, you're not only robbing yourself, but those gifts ain't even for you, like your mama said. They for everybody else. And that's something to maybe keep you going in those times, because somebody's missing out on you. I don't know who that is. But to somebody's looking up to you, or maybe it's somebody that's not born yet. I don't know, but you just got to keep on embracing the moments by moments. And this is like, somebody's like, dude, this dude is like talking happy talk. Okay, great. Now what the fuck do? I don't know. That's your situation. That's the journey of this whole thing. But there are some things that you shouldn't do, and I think you know what those things are too, that are holding you back from reaching your full potential. So switch that shit up right now, whatever it is. And as he said, seeking help, there's nothing wrong with that. Whether it's a tutor, or if it's a counselor, or if it's a chaplain, or if it's a friend, or whatever it is. But, like, man, don't be afraid to reach out for help. It's okay not to be okay, but what's not okay is to get to the point of not being okay to where you take an irreversible action that leaves other people behind. to where you do think of hurting someone else or hurting yourself to the point where this is the end game of it all, because that's where we don't want to go. So that's what's not okay. And if you stay in there too long, you might start thinking that those are good decisions, right? And then kindness, man. Like we said it, man. Everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about, so be kind. And I didn't say that. Robin Williams did. Look how his life ended, right? So be kind to everyone you come across, because you don't know what they're going through. And humans, man, we can't do this shit by ourselves. So just don't be selfish, man. Don't be selfish. Don't waste time, because it's kind of selfish in the end, because you're not being the best you, and then that feeds on something else. And I'm getting in a whole butterfly effect thing right now. So my tangent is going strong. But I'm just saying, man, the shit adds up. It really does. So to anybody out there who's like, where do I go now? Where do I start now? There are tons of things that are going on wrong in the world. Go find one of those and fix it. I don't know. I don't know what the thing is. Pick one. But there's a lot of stuff. But there's probably some stuff in your own house, in your own family, in your own neighborhood that probably needs some help. And then doing that might make you better too. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. Or like 7 cents. Yeah.
It's well worth the 7 cents, Kev. I dig it. I dig it.
Yeah. But some tangible stuff, though. Some tangible stuff that Matt does, or some tangible. What are some tangible things that throughout this entire journey that you've stayed true to? Some day-to-day, let's say, habits, or, I woke up at 5:15 every day. Or what are some tangible things that has been a consistent through line through your journey to get where you are now, which by all accounts, in my opinion, we all have different opinions, but I think you're successful as all get out, because the knowledge you just dropped on this, man, wow. Holy shit. Like, wow.
So I'll get to that. You just mentioned time. Right. Here's the reason why people need to act now and not later. And it's because time is short.
Time is short.
And whether you believe it or not, if you, at a young age, time may seem long. But as you get older, time goes a lot faster. And you may not see it yet. But if you live to be 100, in the grand scheme of things, billions of years have gone by for this planet. 100 years, it's going to be a speck of time whenever you think about it. So if you want to make change and you want to look at your goals or whatever you want to try to accomplish, the time is now to make action, because time is short. A lot of us will probably experience some type of death, whether it be a friend, family member, by the time they're 30 or 35, right? I mean, 32 is not that very long of a time period to live, right? There's individuals. Nathan Hale made a very impactful, he wanted multiple, times to serve, right? If we think about the quote that he had, and he died at a very young age, right? But I think he saw the world a little bit differently. But whatever it is people are trying to figure out for their full potential, they need to act now, because you don't know when that time is going to come. And it should never be by your own hands, because then you're stealing the gifts that you should be able to give over the course of a longer period of time. I see time as the most valuable commodity that we live in and that we have. And if you don't believe me, I've had multiple people pass in my life, and I look at their lives and I think, wow, did they do the best they could while they were here? Accidents took them out of my life. I had a friend fall off the North Peak of the Maroon Bells at the age of 32. I had another friend die of a kidney failure. I've had multiple friends that have died of cancer. And if you don't think that's real, it's going to happen. And it's going to happen to someone you know, and it probably has already, that your life is important and you don't know when it's going to be taken from you, right? I got a friend right now, Harvey Gold, that's battling cancer for the 4th time.
Wow, man.
Just hit remission. He had 30 plus years in the United States Army. He's still going strong. Talked to him yesterday. He's been through so much more. I don't even feel like I've gone through the challenges that he's gone through in life. But he's not going to quit.
No.
He's not going to give up. Why? Because he values time, and he values that every decision that he makes, every single one, has to be positive. Because if we make negative ones, it's just like taking 2 steps back to our goal. And we need to be stepping forward, because the time is the most precious commodity we have, right? So what have I done since probably 2010? Routine, 100%. I love routines. good nutritional choices to allow myself to have the most energy possible. Rid yourself of bad habits. If you think those bad habits are helping you, think again. And if you're using those bad habits to get out of the state of mind of emotional trauma, well, guess what? They just put you in a worse case. Take it for someone who's avoided drugs and alcohol has hit my entire life because my dad was engrossed in that.
Yes.
Killed my family. My brother said, no, you'll never do this. Well, 44 years of living in my mind of all the emotions and never hiding from them, I've gone through a lot of pain that I didn't hide from. I stepped at it. I stepped right into it and found a way to improve my life. And that's why time's extremely important to like look at the routines and make the decisions that are right. Because you never know what you're going to accomplish in life. Some people can go down the bad habits and still have success. Don't get me wrong. They're a lot more talented than I am. I've had to work for mine.
I don't think anybody is. They just make it look that good.
I did. I played college baseball with some people that could have been pro, but they had bad habits in their lives that I believe kept them from actually stepping to the next level.
Gotcha.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, what's important about that? It's about time. It's about making the action now. So, you know, I had good routines. I had good habits. I put myself around positive people. I didn't always, right? You know, to change the financial stuff, I grasped some mentors. If you want to be successful financially, put yourself around highly educated individuals and take their annual income of those 10 friends that you surround yourself with, and your trajectory for financial independence is down that way. I take that with the same thing that I want to do in everything in life. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't want to be the smartest person in the room. If I am, I'm in the wrong room.
In the wrong room.
Right?
I'm never in the wrong room.
You never think about that until you feel like, oh, wait a second, I'm not growing. It's time to get in the other room. And I'm not trying to be arrogant there.
No,
I'm
it
just
makes perfect sense.
You know, I'm just because you want to be challenged. But even if you feel like you're in the right room, ask some different questions to trigger some individuals to challenge you. Because a little controversy every once in a while is not bad.
Nah, it's just good. It's a little bit of friction.
Right. Yeah.
That's where the growth is. That's where the growth is.
What was the most important thing when I ran across the country? It's relationships. Relationships are not easy. They're not easy with friends, family, loved ones. Probably one of the most challenging things.
It's hard with yourself.
Yeah,
it's hard enough. True. It's hard enough dealing with me. Then you throw another person into it. Like, here we go.
That's true. But I mean, the routine was the biggest thing. Like, I love routines. I love the gym. That's where I get confidence. I get confidence from physical stuff. If I don't have that in my life, that was the trap.
Yeah.
Right. I knew that was the trap. If I don't stay strong physically, I will get lost in my mind. Mm. But I also have traps at the house. My wife's really good at like identifying these things for me.
Yeah.
Because I take open and honest. You know, it may take me a while because that's stubbornness.
I'm still trying to get there, my friend.
Right. But you know, why no phones in the bedroom? Well, screen time. I need sleep. You know, why no snacks or something if I'm going to go after some like athletic pursuits? Because I need to be 10 pounds lighter. Mm-hmm. Well, change the route to work so you don't stop at this place and eat. Mm-hmm. Right? It's choices.
Yeah.
I think in addition to the routine, I started making better choices. I also started actually talking to mentors a lot more.
Talking to mentors. I hear that.
I had a crutch when I was younger. I don't have a father figure in my life. What am I going to do? Well, I started making them.
That's wow. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And maybe they were my same age.
Yes.
Maybe they were individuals that were more emotionally mature because they had that development as a child. I think I lost that development because of the divorce at a young age, and I never dealt with it until later in life. And I think that's why I kind of I got a little short sometimes because I just didn't have that. But the biggest thing was just like put father figures in your life, right? Put a mother figure in your life. Have them both so they can actually like balance you out.
It takes a village, man.
It does.
It takes a village.
It does. And if you try to do it by yourself, time's not on your side.
No. Yeah, that's so real. Time is not. And there's a sense of urgency that I know for me came over me when I lost when my brother was killed a few years ago, and just most recently we raised more like brother and sister, but she's my cousin. We lived together, and she was murdered last year, and God rest his soul, and his too. But there was so much undone business, and there was so much left, and neither one of them knew that was their last day, right? And then most recently I had a mentor of mine, used to be our commanding officer here, the great Wolfie, Colonel DeWolf, amazing human. Cancer got him right after he just retired 2 years ago. Right now we were doing this change of command in the building right next to us right now. And he was like just an amazing, like I'm talking about Purple Heart, like combat deployment, just such a unselfish servant. But anybody he talked to, man, he was right there, engaged with them, made them feel like the most important person there was. And he didn't always tell you what you wanted to hear, but he was such a strong, resilient person, in the sense that when I I heard that he was terminally ill, and I reached out to him, and I was like, I'm just some lowly rank that I am, and I was like, hey sir, I'm from Virginia, and he was living in Northern Virginia, and I said, is there anything we could do or anything like that? And he said, I had to look at the message to see, did he even know after this? He said, hey, Cam, what's up, man? He said, man, if you're in D.C., we got to link up, man. He said, we got to link up. And I was like, what the? I'm looking at the phone like, does this, do I know and he don't know? You know what I'm saying? And he he's like, man, hey, all things considered, and that's why I have it written right there on that book, so I see it all the time. All things considered, we're doing great. How are y'all? And he's terminally ill after sacrificing almost 30 years of his life for our nation, for our cause, being away from family, everything like that. And he has children. He has an awesome spouse, awesome kids, awesome family, just amazing human. And I just, man, it made me think of, we're in Japan, the Miyamoto Musashi quote where he says that to hold it together when everyone understands if you fell apart, that's true strength. That's resilience. And he talked about the time. And that's why I kind of go off on a tangent right here, because resilience, and I'm quoting this from the APA article on resilience, it says, being resilient doesn't mean that a person won't experience difficulty or stress. No. It doesn't mean that you won't experience it. It means that when you do experience it, it doesn't impair you to the point of no return. And when I think about that and not being impaired, how strong was he, right? How strong is your friend the fourth time now, going through this, looking death in the face and being like, all things considered, I'm doing great. And I'm over here like crying in the shower.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the time, there has to be a sense of urgency. And with these mentors, like Matt's saying, it doesn't have to be what it should be, right? We should have, the Partridge Family or the fucking, Little House on the Prairie type situation, but that's not the situation for a lot of us, right? That's not. And I don't think, if we're honest, it's like that for anybody really, right? Like, what is normal anyway? And I love the Dr. Gabor Mate's book I'm trying to read and break down slowly, but the myth of normal. Like, what the fuck is normal anyway, right? And it's on a spectrum. It's just, what's the general norm? But that doesn't mean that's normal, right? So your mother could be somebody else. Your motherly figure could be somebody else. Your brotherly figure, your only child. Well, you can't tell me if you're an only child in sports or in the military or in any kind of service industry or something of that nature that you don't find brothers and sisters right to your left and your right that may not be blood related, but blood makes you related. Love makes you family. So just don't miss out on the opportunity to realize time is ticking, but also to embrace those mentors, because I have a father, I have a relationship with him, but that Colonel DeWolf was a father figure to me, and his example will forever be fatherly to me, in the sense of whatever goes down, I got to remember all things considered. When we consider all things, not just the muck that you're in right now, not just in that shitstorm that you're in right now, but we consider all things. 'Cause when we consider all things, 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 when we consider all th we're doing great. When you really consider all things, you look at human history, really look at a book, look at the rapes and the atrocities and the pillaging and the just you talk about utilitarianism. I mean, killing other people for the sake of utilitarianism and so on and so on and so on and so on. Just atrocities throughout human history. And not that long ago, you know, like it or not, politically speaking or whatever, like slavery existed in this country, right? There's been worse days, and there'll probably be better ones. And there might be some bad ones along the road too, but this too shall pass.
Oh, 100%.
This too shall pass. I know I just went on a rant there. I just wanted to tie in where you talked about the resilience and the fact that the importance of time, man. It's ticking against all of us, man. What are you doing with the time that you have right now? And you might not be the best at whatever said thing you're going to go do, right? But are you going to be the worst? Probably not. So why not try it? Why not you? Why not me? Why not us? Why can't we, right? And that's how we evolve, and that's how we get to be the best versions of ourselves. And hopefully along the way, share those gifts that you have.
Oh, yeah. A lot of us have talents that we don't even know about.
Nah, you ain't even tapped into it. I heard Les Brown say one time the most wealthy place in the whole world, fuck Fort Knox. Ain't no banks or nothing like that. Cemeteries. There's so many songs not sung, so many poems not written, so much just creations not ever made, so many businesses that were never entrepreneured, so many things untapped into because somebody was like, you know, I'm gonna do that shit later. You know what Matt's talking about? That's some real shit. I've been thinking about bicycles. What kind of bicycle should I get? Should I get that one? Should I get the one with the pecs and should I get do I need to get those shoes where it put the? Oh man, should I get a Schwinn or should I get a what? And you over here just delaying progress in yourself because you're over analysis paralysis. Obviously, make logical, good decisions. I'm not telling you to just go out there and get on anything, but do something now and then figure it out. That's one thing we do learn in this here business that we're in. 70% solutions go a long way because a perfect decision later might mean that we're dead, but a good decision now might keep us alive.
Oh yeah, 100%.
A good enough decision. So 70% solution. So don't overthink it, folks. Like, act now. You ain't got to be perfect at it to try it. But like you said,
you know, I've talked a lot about just looking at things from the 360 degrees. I think that's what you just covered with the gratitude of history, right? A lot of people feel like they're haunted just mentally, day to day. However, I think I'll be more haunted later if I don't try to extract my full potential of all the talent that I possibly could have. Because if I die and there's those talents just looking over me and haunting me, why didn't you allow me to get free? Why didn't you allow me to live? Because I could have changed that person's life, and I could have changed that person's life. I think about that a lot, which is kind of deep.
yeah,
right?
That's real, man.
But it's one of those things like you got to act now. You got to try. You got to listen to your mentors. I got a really, really good friend, Steve. I talk to him, I don't know. I text him any day I want, anytime I want.
Yep.
And he's 70 years old. Far from a father figure I'd ever thought I'd have in my life, but him and his wife, Debbie, are really impactful. And just find family where you can.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
I mean, but those types of things, cemetery, wow, right? I mean, you can't allow those talents to die with you at such a young age. You got to at least try, and you at least got to get them out.
It's coming.
Yeah,
for all of
it
us.
is.
It's memento mori. Remember, you will die, and that's just a fact. I'm not saying anybody to make that come faster by any means, but it's happening to all of us. We shall perish. This too shall pass.
Yeah. So I mean, but with all that stated, we got to live the best life we can. We got to go out. We got to try to create as many memories as we can. Positive memories. I mean, there's a lot of people that just taking selfies and photos and trying to log it in. Yeah. Are you really enjoying the moment? Are you really in the moment? Are you in the moment for others? Yeah. Right. That social media and stuff, I try to avoid, because that gets me in a dark place mentally, comparativitis, because all we're seeing is the positive of others. You're never seeing the negative. So you only think everything is just kind of like, oh, it's so good over there. How come it's not right here? Well, comparativitis is a problem.
Man, it is.
Get away from it. Go explore. try to figure out, be in the moment, and see what you can be about, because only then will you know what your full potential is.
It's cool to be inspired and stuff, but what you see ain't always what's there, right?
True.
Like yesterday, for example, we took little paddle boards out on the U beach out here. We got this tiny little beach out here, and it's tiny, it's shallow, but I got a little toddler, and I have an adult child too, and then I have a teenager as well. So I got kids from all age ranges, and we're sitting on this paddle board, and it's funny you said this about the picture thing. I just laid on it, man, and my wife had the oar. She was kind of steering us a little bit. I just laid back on it, man. I ain't got no one picture from yesterday at the beach. I ain't got no one. The day before, I took tons of pictures. It was Father's Day and all that, but just didn't at all. And I remember laying there going, man, this is something where they talk about stillness, and I was just laying on the water. I mean, I got a tattoo on my arm, be water, my friend. Like, water to me is everything. Being near the beach, being near the water is just was taking it in. We had argued earlier at some point. We argue all the time, whatever. It's just what it is. This is life, right? But one of these younger service members from out here, she rode past, and she was like, that's life goals for me. Like, she looked at us on the paddleboard, and it was my daughter, my baby, and my wife, and we're all on the paddleboard together. And you're seeing that right there, right? But there's like jellyfish all around us. I had just dipped over the fucking thing and dropped the baby in the water not long before that. And then there was some arguments that ensued during the day, right? But in that moment, when she looked over, she's like, life goals, right? We could have posted that picture and been like, look at Eva on the paddleboard. But, like, there's so much behind the scenes. Oh, yeah. And that's where that comparativitis. It's good to be inspired by things, right? You see something like, that's a goal I want. I want to be I want to have my best version of that or whatever that is. And I'm not downplaying any of that to be inspired by things. But the comparativitis to be like, I'm not successful because I'm not like him. And I'm like, man, you don't want to be like me. I just almost drowned this baby.
I'll just say what you don't want to be in my head. Yeah, no, trust me.
So don't always see it at face value and be like, I want to be exactly like that. Like, look and focus on being your best you and what that is. And I love that you said about the avoiding negative outlets and finding and feeling those feelings, because, and I'm gonna cite this article again on building your resilience from the APA. It came out in it's an older article, but it's called Building Your Resilience from APA. Anybody who went to college, you know what APA means, all right? But American Psychological Association, but it says avoid negative outlets. It may be tempting to mask your pain with alcohol, drugs, or substances, but that's like putting a bandage on a deep wound. Focus instead on giving your body resources to manage stress rather than seeking to eliminate the feeling of stress altogether. That's it right there. Like, the stress is there. Like, even working out, exercising, like that soreness, all that kind of stuff. You broke your muscles down. Like, the stress is good. Stress gets a bad rap, man. Stress gets a bad rap, the word of it, but it's so fucking necessary in life. It's so necessary to have stress. Like, literally, like astronauts that go out and orbit the whole world. And they orbit, they're outside of space for a while. When they get back and they get back off those little capsules, a lot of times they have to be helped to walk because they can't even walk because they've had no stress on their body, on their physical joints to be able to. And every day when you're walking, there's small little tiny fractures that are happening in your bones and stuff. That's good. That's why body motion stays in motion. We go on them capsule runs and we see those old people. You just hear the little bell. You see this old person like, man, you like 1,000. How you walking right now? But their peers of the same generation where we come from in our homeland are probably like all pilled up, thrilled up, and sitting in some chair somewhere because the body in motion stays in motion, right? So embrace the pain as it comes. Don't be debilitated by it. If you feel like you are, then seek help, seek those mentors, seek whatever, but that community, that relationship, because just to go off on a side tangent real quick, I got that opportunity to where I'm going to now be going to Northern Virginia to work on suicide prevention. I got sought out. I didn't open that door. It opened for me, and I'm very blessed and thankful to be potentially working with and contributing to the team. But I had a friend of mine yesterday. He said, man, he was really sad because our orders got changed from California, and now we're going somewhere else. And one of the biggest pros was to be connected to him again. We came up in the Marines together. We was in Iraq together. Just so much history. One of my best friends, brother, right? But he said, man, like, don't get too far ahead of this. He said, because, trying to help the cause. He said, because, like, no matter what pamphlet, basically, no matter what slogan was out there, he's like, man, if I didn't have you, if I didn't have Drew, If I didn't have Rex, I'd be just like those other statistics. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what people need to know, is the relationships. And it's back full circle to what you were saying earlier, the relationships, not the negative outlets, not the drinking, not the selfies, not the self-comparisons, not the, oh, I want to be like this person or that person. No. The relationships you have with those around you and the impact they're having on you. Because he said, I'd almost read off his text if I didn't want to violate our privacy and our friendship, but the essential, the gist of it was, if I didn't have y'all, I wouldn't be here. And that's preventing suicide right there. Just being there for each other, man. Before people get to that point of thinking there's no return. You can't make that into a ditty. You can't make that into an acronym. You can't make that into some commercial. That's just some time-tested wisdom and knowledge that people need people, man, and those relationships. And the ones that you should have, I should have this relationship with my mom. I should have this relationship with my daddy. I should be talking to my brother and stuff like that. Well, sometimes you're not. So you got to find it somewhere else. But find it somewhere else healthfully. Don't just be out there, just standing on a corner, right? But you could be standing underneath a tree looking for some shade, and you could find a friend that you'll eventually connect with in San Francisco. You never know until you try it, right? I know I just went on a big tangent there, but relationships.
No, I love it. I mean, you're packaging it up. I mean, everybody's going to have challenges. The successful, the non-successful, depending on what that is, the rich, the poor, any diversity, whatever it may be, right? Everybody's going to have challenges in life. And if you think you're alone, you're not. You're not.
No.
Because I guarantee the leaders of our free world have had the same challenges that we've had. And people on other continents are going through the same thing. Why? Because we're all human.
Yeah.
And when we all deal with the same things. And it's how we counter those and what obstacles we put in the way, are probably self-driven, but we can find a ways around them. And I guarantee it's a lot easier to stand on the shoulders of giants and move forward than it is to try to stand up and reach for yourself. Right?
Man, that's so right.
I mean, I wouldn't be where I am today without the people that have passed.
Yeah.
In my journey. When I was in college, I had a really good friend, Derek, that their parents were like, "What are you doing? You're going to kill yourself." Like, you were playing a college sport. You're working 2 jobs because I couldn't pay for the dorms. I didn't get free lodging, right? The tuition was paid for. But they're like, you're living in the dorms, you're playing a sport, you're working full time, you're trying to get a dual major. There's no way that this is going to happen. They reached out and they're like, listen, why don't you come live in our basement? Right? Not wealthy people.
Yeah.
Carla was dealing with cancer for like the 3rd time. I'm there. I ended up staying with them for like 2.5 years. Very impactful. She dies when I'm there. We're waiting for her body to get removed from the house, and it's just so emotional. Like, my buddy just lost his mom, right? And the lessons I learned on that, it's just kind of like, whoa. So we're all going through a lot of challenges. And then I look at my life and I'm like, wow, I'm very thankful that I had a place to stay.
Yeah.
Because I freed up time. I didn't have to work as much.
Yeah.
Right. They helped out. They gave a little bit. 3 years later, Derek's father dies.
Oh,
He's by himself. Right. So, weekly, monthly, I reach out to him to make sure he knows he has somebody.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. My wife's just like, how do you keep in touch with all these people? Sometimes all it takes now is just a text. Bro, what's up?
Yes.
What are you doing? How you
Yes.
feeling?
Yes.
How's the kids? Right? That's it.
Yeah.
Right? Little pause. That keeps me out of the darkness sometimes, just checking in with other people.
Man, that's so true.
Right? And I used to not do that. I used to be like, well, what's this relationship stuff? This is just a political game to try to network and do this and do that. That's not what it's about anymore,
Nah, man.
The only reason why those networks work is people care about one another.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You know, Derek's successful. He's lived past his dad's age where he had his heart condition, which is success to me.
Congrats, Derek. Shout out to you, man.
You know,
resilience.
He's watching the kids grow up, and you know, he went back to school, so he's making it happen. He's had struggles, so you know, we're all connected, whether we believe it or not, in some way or another.
Oh yes.
And the more we can actually make those connections to learn the lessons from others, so we don't have to repeat them. Oh man, life's going to be so much easier. You're talking about flowing with water or a leaf in the wind. If you want to be that and get to where you want, and an upward slope, right? With growth, it's pretty easy the more we stay connected.
Oh, for sure, man. And pain shared, to quote General Neller, pain shared is pain divided. So we're just better together. That's just what it is. Now, again, hey, be careful who you choose for your team, right? You don't want to have negative influences, but maybe you never had that person. Maybe you never had that father, that brother. Maybe you never had that Derek and Miss Carla, and then people reach out to you and take care of you. What if it's on you to be that to someone else, to be that leader that you always needed, be that friend that you always needed, be that father, be that mother, be that auntie, uncle, role, figure in someone else's life that you always needed. You know, sometimes bad leadership is the best example to learn from, because you're like, you know what? I don't care what happens. I ain't going to be like you, right? I will not be like you. I mean, I'd argue, and I'm not trying to get too personal and intrusive into your life, but had your father had not had those struggles he had, and you got to see that live and in color and to live the results of falling into substance abuse and addiction, you could have experimented at some age. But somewhere in there, it sounds like from what I've been talking to you, that you're like, I'm not doing that shit. And your brother's like, we ain't doing that. That ain't us. We ain't doing that. And some reason that negative was a positive, was a motivating factor in, we're not fucking with that. We're not going down that road. Whereas if it wasn't an issue, maybe it could have been an issue. We don't know, right? Because not all addicts grew up in an addiction-filled home or anything like that. Not all. A lot do, right? But it's choices, like you said, because you'll have two children that come from a family that are filled with addictions or not, right? Raised in the same home, same DNA, same everything. One becomes a full-blown addict, overdoses and everything, and the other one is a absolute no alcohol, no drugs or anything, and they're like a counselor or something. You know what I mean? Like, and there's many different stories and variations to that story, but same nature, if you will, but the way they nurtured their life as themselves was totally different. And that's where, back to your point, choices.
Yeah, 100%. I think that inflection point was, I'll hang my hat on gratitude, to be honest with you. I'm glad that happened. I'm 100% glad that it happened, because I learned the lessons at an early age. And they weren't all sticking at the point of like, stay on this path, because I made some decisions that weren't very good at a young age. I mean, I think we all do. We all experiment. We all try different things. Obviously my brother basically said, listen, we're going to walk this line and we're never going to deviate. You know how challenging that is to go through life, to play college sports, where that is like part of sports, where people are saying you're not going to fit in. Yeah. There's no way you're going to make it. You'll break. No problem. I remember on my first day in college, I show up and I'm in the dorm room, and this 6'6" guy, 280-pound first baseman, Chris Miller, I'll remember the day I die, looks at me and he goes, all right, freshman, you're going to go out tonight and we're going to get you fucked up. Yeah. And I got up, and I was a little like 6'1", 180-pound guy looking up this 100-pound guy, or, he's just a big dude. Yeah. Right. I go, I don't think so. You're not going to fuck anybody up tonight. And if you ever step in, my life and try to deviate my goals, we're going to go toe to toe. And from that point on, he got my respect. Yeah. I got his respect. And it was weird, because like 10 years later, I was in his wedding. Wow. Because he was just like, oh my gosh, don't make that. And then it was just like, oh, the guy's got some some medical thing. You can't drink.
Yeah.
He's got this. He's got that. I was like, no, I just had values and I had morals and I had standards that I wanted to live my life on.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
And it was just like, there's nothing wrong with what they were doing.
Yeah.
Right. But I think those choices that I made are like at a young age, like, okay, all right, bro, we're going to do this. You want me to do this? I'll live it.
Right.
It's not going to be easy because it hasn't. I've lost a lot of friends because I didn't go do what they did, but the moral of the story is just kind of like make a firm stance on something as long as it's positive.
That's right.
And your life will change for the better.
Yeah.
And it did. I believe so anyway.
It seems to have been working out, right? And don't hear us wrong. Nobody's a prohibitionist here. We're not trying to say illegally ban everything. I'm definitely not, right? Because without, certain things, we wouldn't have certain things. And so teach their own on choices they make. But I do want to say, is what you're doing bringing you closer to the person and the best person that you want to be, or is it pushing you further? If it's pushing you further in any bit of degrees, it's making a negative difference in your life. So maybe you need to cut that shit out. There's oftentimes, especially in our culture, sports culture or military culture or whatever, well, this is my stress reliever. This is what I do to take the edge off. And I got a poem I read at open mics where it's like, be careful what you use to take your edge off, because it might lead to you taking your fucking head off. Because there's a real thing of, the drunk aside. A lot of times people hurt themselves or hurt others while they are intoxicated. And not only that, but there's also something called anxiety, which I learned is confirmed, but I always felt it myself, is the next day after a long night or weekend or binge or session, to where your emotions are so horribly just distorted, the chemicals in your brain. A lot of times people will choose death by suicide in those moments, or have a suicide attempt in that hangover state, because it's like, I'm drunk and I feel this way, or I'm sober and I feel this. You're not really sober. You're just like all fucked up and impaired and stuff like that. So I guess the filter is this bringing you closer or pushing you further away? And your stress reliever, whatever it may be, it could be collecting stamps. It could be, running too much, and you run so often that you get into stress fractures and stuff like that. And maybe you need to cycle a little bit. Maybe you need to do some elliptical. Maybe you need to swim a little bit. Incorporate some other things. But if your stress reliever is becoming a stress causer, check yourself. Whatever that is. I don't know what that is. We all have our own thing. I get on my phone because of whatever. I want to release stress. I want to tap. Is it becoming a stress causer? And I think that could be a healthy filter. But not doing it or not messing with these things isn't going to make you worse. I'll tell you that with full confidence. Not doing these things is not going to make you a worse person, right? The shame, the guilt. I told y'all, I've said this before, any suicide attempts or suicidal ideation, strong ones I've ever had have been while intoxicated or the next day after. That's been the thread through mine. So in 4 years of not having that in me, I haven't had those problems. So it's like, if you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. Or, as the great Colonel DeWolf was like, attack in a different direction. When he's going through his treatment plan, he was like, we're just going to attack in a different direction. That's resilience, man. That's what the fuck it is, man. So just the substance thing, man, be fucking careful. And then stand firm in what you do. And sometimes that's hard. Like, I've done that before at places. Like, nah, man, I'm on a medication. I can't do that right now. I can't, because I don't, the crowd I'm with is somebody I used to do certain things with. But then I also realized I leave parties early as shit now. Any of those social get-together, like, I just don't like them, man. Like, I'm not trying to be negative to nobody, but I fucking hate small talk. Like, I hate it. It fucking, we're just like, oh, fucking sunny day, huh? Yeah, fucking sunny day. Well, shit's wild. See the game. Like, fucking shut up. I can't stand it. What I want is what we've done right here. Like, but you can't just have that at a party. Nope. unless you're with certain people. So I tend to, I've stayed at the party too long, many a day in my life. So now I just leave the party early. Usually and actually filter my sister, my little sister. She's a counselor. She works with people and she's amazing. And she said that recently that with drinking, that if she's somewhere, maybe she said it somewhere else, I don't know. It's good wisdom though. If I'm at a certain situation or a ceremony or something like that, once I start feeling the urge that I have to drink to feel good there, that's my cue to know I need to go. And I was like, damn, that's a pretty good filter, right? Like, I mean, some people with social anxiety, you immediately get there, you feel like, I need to get the fuck out of here, right? I get that. I respect that. But why are we putting ourselves in these situations? Is it because it's normal? Is it because it's what everybody else does? It's what we're supposed to do? That don't mean that's what you got to do. Because my social interactions, to be honest, is stuff like what we're doing right now when we do open mics. And then when we go out and we do those castle runs and stuff, I get some cool conversation. I'm interacting with people. There's other elements going on. There's a physical side of it, damn near spiritual side of it when you're here in nature in the way you are. And nature's medicine. That's my social life. It's stuff like that. Right, going to the gym, having a little small talk. Don't talk to me too long while I'm at the gym. I don't like that shit. But you know what I mean. If you see me cooling down and stretching, let's talk. But you get what I'm saying, though. Like it doesn't 100%. Have to be. Well, we have to have this cocktail party, and that's a social experience. I don't like that shit. I'd rather do like Jim did with the CFO on that episode of Office, and they just went in the backyard and shoot hoops. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather go do that to enjoy the time I have with you. Have a conversation over just shooting free throws. That's just me. Everybody's different in that. But I'm done with the mentality that this is how it has to be. A social interaction has to be this. Fuck that. It doesn't have to be that. It doesn't have to be. You know, it doesn't have to be.
Oh, I 100% agree. It doesn't have to be. I mean, when you look at life and you think about this is a crazy analogy, but a cookie's still sweet if it didn't come out of cookie cutter.
Ooh.
Right,
a cookie's still sweet. Cause I made some ugly ass cookies before in my day. But
yeah, but life still goes on, right? What you're looking at there is authenticity.
Yes.
Right. Real conversations come out when people are a little bit vulnerable.
Yes.
When they go to these social interactions and it's all just facade.
Mm-hmm.
You're not getting very deep. Saw that in Bel Air. I saw that at the country club. Right. All these people were worried about what was the next deal. How could they get something for themselves instead of how can we meet in the middle and both of us be happy, right? I mean, authenticity and organic nature in conversation is very difficult to deal with these days because everybody sees like social interactions, and maybe not everybody, of what can I get from this person at this time?
Yeah.
Or how could I display some type of power or like get some type of filament of dopamine of like, I'm a little bit better than that person.
It's true.
Right. Those aren't real environments. Mm-hmm. And you want to put yourself around people that are real. Right. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Find a different place. There's almost 8 billion people on the planet.
Yeah.
We're all not going to get alike.
No.
Right. I mean, it's just find people that are like you that can build you up instead of tear you down, because those situations, if they are tearing you down or you get the perception that they are, it's time to move on. Right.
So key. And another thing too is don't get caught up in that, what you said earlier, like, well, I'm not like those people. How do you know that? How do you know that until you talk with them? You know, certain people from different, classes or demographics and things like that. When you went across that country, that cross country thing, I'm sure everybody there was not of the same economic status, socioeconomic status of where you come from in Kansas, and they all didn't look like most of the people from wherever you're from, right? Yeah. They were all different. But how do you know that those aren't your type of people until you try it, right? Yeah. Some people don't even know they like the piano until they try it. You just don't know, man. And those healthy outlets, like, don't be afraid to try new things. At least give it a shot, right? And we've talked about this before, about like when it comes to counseling or when it comes to talking to a chaplain or seeking certain mentors. You cannot get strong off of one workout. You cannot get healthy off of one meal.
No,
one day of vitamins is not going to make you healthy, right? So going to one session of speaking to a counselor or a chaplain or meeting one time with one mentor, like you said, the guy Steve, you could text him anytime, and oftentimes you do. It's a constant. You don't get to be going on the, what was it, 100-mile, what'd you call it, 100-mile ride or die? What was it called? The one race you did?
Oh, it was just a ride, but it was probably the Hotter Than Hell 100. Is that what I mentioned?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've done a lot of them.
No. It was the one you cited. They always got cool titles.
The first one. Yeah, they're marketing. They're trying to pull you in.
It's nothing. It's like Valor Shield, Steel Cloud. You know what I mean? Like it's. I love to be in the board meetings when they come up with these ideas for these names. But whether it's that or whatever, like, you got to do it more than once to be able to be prepared to do that race. Like, you can't just be like, I'm gonna just ride my bike today and I'm a bicyclist. Nah, man. And my point there is consistency, routine, reiteration, following up, doing it again, Don't just try it one time, whatever that thing may be, and be like, nah, this shit ain't for me. I mean, you talk about comedy, man. I actually got on my YouTube page. Y'all can look it up, Coach Cam Campbell. I put it up there. I got it called Highlight Reel because my boy Rex, he was talking about highlight reel versus highlight reel. That's where I got it from. Was REE. And I have literally a video of me bombing and walking off stage in San Diego. I was like, nah, y'all ain't listening, I'm out. And I was like, man, I was so mad at that clip. I was so when I watched the video because I quit. I went and jokes weren't landing, stuff wasn't working. I also went to a spot in San Diego like midnight while everybody was drunk already, and it wasn't really a place for said thing. So they weren't hearing me. They was doing their own thing. But I quit. I didn't even go through all my material. I was like, y'all ain't listening. I'm done. But I keep that on my social media page as a reminder to anybody out there. There's highlight reel, and here's a clip of my dumb ass quitting. I quit. I just said, all right, y'all have a good night, and walked off stage. I'll never fucking do that again. I will never feel that pain of, not the pain of failing, not the pain of it hurt, but the pain of disappointment and regret in myself. Because like Saban said, man, whether you love him or hate him, man, there's that pain of discipline or that pain of disappointment. Which one do you want to feel? That's usually what it boils down to. And I got enough disappointment, and regrets and things that I'm not proud of. So I don't want that pain. So I'd rather feel the pain of being uncomfortable, being a little disciplined, and just facing the fucking crowd and just taking it for what it is, and it'll be what it is. But it was honest, and it was real, and it was authentic. Highlight real.
Yeah.
Real.
Yeah, well, there you go. I mean, keeping it real with these people that are really trying to change themselves. It's just kind of like, don't live in the fear, because I know how long it takes for people to change, like from a physiological standpoint, especially with adaptations for athletes. I mean, it's going to take a long time.
Yes.
It is going to take a long time to make any change that you want, and success doesn't come overnight.
No,
I mean, look at sports figures. Look at the individuals that put in the work to get results. But all we see is an instantaneous, oh, look, they got that. Yeah, that's not happening, right?
No.
I mean, my first coach from the cycling is like, hey, it's going to take you 7 years to get your cycling legs. I don't want it. I want it now.
Oh, no, I want prime now.
Right? But then I started focusing on, okay, we'll put a plan in. I'm going to act on it. And every single day I'm going to get my ass to work.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to get my result. Right? It took 5 years to get my cycling legs. Wow. It took 5 years to feel like I peaked. And then I didn't do anything with it. Yeah. I was getting older, and I was just kind of like, and doors started closing, and I knew others were going to open, and it was time to settle in. But I wasn't scared to start the journey. Mm-hmm. I wasn't scared to change and reformulate goals because of the changes that occurred. But I stuck with it. I mean, and that's a lot of people that you're talking about quit.
Yes.
Like they quit way too early.
Yeah, man.
And
they quit right there. You're almost there.
Yeah, and they might quit on themselves. I mean, they quit on themselves, right? That's the one thing I think I've never done. I haven't quit on myself. I've wanted to. I think everybody wanted to at some point. And there's good times where doors need to shut on some things. And I've quit those. But it's just kind of when you're moving forward with things, just don't quit.
Don't quit. Don't quit. I love that you said that because it just triggered who actually said that to me. It was actually my sister Trish. She's not my sister, but she's like a sister to my wife and I, a friend of my wife's from Philly, and she's a great friend of mine as well. But we were talking about drinking, and we were talking about suicide and how we both have had challenges in that area. And she had texted me, and she said that when she feels that urge to drink, she leaves the party. But the other thing, too, talking about relationships and quitting, I never heard somebody put it like this before. But she said that suicide is essentially, and she's had to give herself grace and understanding over the recent years, but that suicide is essentially wanting to end the relationship with yourself, to quit on the relationship with yourself because you just can't handle yourself. And there's many definitions to it, but that really resonated with me because it was like, you don't even want this relationship to work anymore. And that relationship with yourself is so important, to give yourself that grace, to give yourself that kindness as much as you want to give it to others, but to be hard on yourself too. And to don't quit. Don't quit on that relationship with yourself because there's still farther to go. You look at any relationship, whether it's you and your wife, in the beginning when y'all were just boyfriend and girlfriend, and it was like, no, get the student debt, and we're gonna grow in this way as individuals, and then we're gonna come together. And then in 2020, right, you guys got married.
Yep.
Like, there's a big path there. There's a big in between, you know, of growth, of compromise, of understanding each other, of just so much building that relationship, but not quitting on it. Not quitting on it. You know what I mean? And to have a good relationship, and the relationship that you describe now, not perfect. None of them are, right? Even none of the people that we've talked about, whether it's you or any of the people, even like Dr. King, look on him, how imperfect that man was, right? But I like that part of that because it was real and it was vulnerable and it was authentic, and he wasn't a perfect man, right? But he still made a big difference in this world that we live in today and how we live in it. But nothing is perfect. It takes compromise. It takes work. But don't quit. Don't quit on that relationship with yourself, with others, with the relationship with you in cycling. Like, it's relationships with this said thing, and to keep growing and taking the hits, but keep moving forward. Like old Stallone, right? Everybody hit, everybody can get hit, and keep moving forward. That's it.
You got to keep moving forward. I mean, 2014, 21 days across the country on a fixed gear bike. That was my motto for moving forward. Today you will pick up yourself and you will move forward, right? I leave with 8.5 pounds of gear, riding a 4816, which is kind of a tough gear to ride in the mountains. And I was just like, okay, you're going to get across the country as quickly as possible. Self-contained, no support. See what you're made of, right? Just whatever you do, don't quit. And it was just like every single day I woke up in a different place, surrounded by different people, different environments, different temperatures. Everything was different. But I told myself I'm not going to quit. There was times on there that I physically wanted to quit. Mentally, I wanted to quit. I woke up in places it was 5 degrees. I wasn't prepared. It sucked. My water froze. I had to cycle like 50 miles to get down to a convenience store just to thaw out my water. Like, physically wrecked.
Oh my God.
But I'm just thinking, okay, what is the simple thing that you thought about whenever you left? Keep moving forward and don't quit, right? You're going to grow from this. Not sure how, because it sucks. I'm in the pain, and I'm just kind of like, oh, I'm lonely. What am I doing this for? I don't need to be out here. Something good is going to come from it.
Yeah.
Right? Just don't quit. And like, I found that when I planned it and then I act upon it and I stuck to the motto and whatever it was, right? It was an intrinsic value. When I coached athletes over the years, I like to sit down, put your goals down. SMART goals, right? Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-based.
Yeah.
If they're not like that, it's just a desire. And if you don't have SMART goals set, those are just going to be desires. And then what happens? Time just passes. I wish I could have done. Oh, man, I thought about that 10 years ago, but it never happened.
Mm-hmm.
Never happened, right? So you plan it and then you don't act upon it. You're never going to get to where you want to be in life.
No.
Right? So and there were struggles, man. I mean, there was some times. And I was doing this competition too, so there's a little intrinsic motivators, right? So I'd have my athletes write all their SMART goals down, and then I'd put a white piece of paper in front of them and say, okay, I can't be there every single day. I can't. What intrinsically, what inside you is going to get you out of bed to work towards that goal the next day, the next minute, the next half hour, right? Because that is the most important. That's the why. Mm-hmm. That's the why you were doing something, to try to get someplace. And then I found myself across the country. I ended up best in this challenge on Strava. I ended up riding 4,563 miles that month. Never in my bloodiest physiological trained mind I would think, why am I doing this? Mm-hmm. Well, I wanted to check the physiological limitations that I could actually put on my body.
Your limitations.
My limitations.
Your potential.
Have I found them yet? I don't know.
Yeah.
Right? Could I look back and could I change some details that could have been better? Well, I don't know. I'm not 30 anymore.
Right.
Right? I mean, I'm not 34, 33 whenever I did it. Now I'm 10 years older. Could I go back and do it? Probably not the same way, but I could probably get close.
Yeah.
by changing some details, right? So it's one of those things. I didn't quit. I won't quit. And it's just like, you got to be smart about it. And if you're not, if you don't feel like you have the tools, find the tools.
Find them.
Right? I mean, there's no point in just taking a square peg into a round hole. It's not going to work. Find the sander, get it changed, fill in the gaps,
Get some sand on the thing.
make the adjustments needed so you're not forced to quit.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I don't know what I could have done. I was disappointed. There was one very big disappointment, like in my endurance career, that I was just like, okay, I could make a name for myself, because I never feel like, you never got the light, right? In 2017, there was a race that was put on in Russia to ride across Russia. Red Bull was putting it on,
Mm-hmm.
and I put my name in the hat, and I got picked to go. But I needed to raise a bunch of money, and I didn't raise the money to go. And then I got all disappointed. I was just like, I want to do this race. And then they picked someone else to fund it. All the sponsors funded someone else, basically. And I was all disappointed. I don't know where I'm going with this at all, but the point was just kind of like,
sounds like a valley to me.
I'm probably not going to quit,
Right.
because there's one of these times, like, I made a big change in 2020 to focus on my career, focus on my wife and my relationship, and took 2 years more or less off from riding,
Mm-hmm.
which is huge for me, because that's my grounding.
Yeah.
And I'm putting goals out there, right? Because I'm not going to quit, right? I mean, it's one of those things. It's like, sometimes in life you just got to take a pause, focus on other things,
Yeah.
and grow. Get those things smoothed out, and then you can focus on other things. It's just going to these ebb and flow. But I wouldn't been able to have done that if I was living in fear of not trying to accomplish those goals, because there are some things in life that I really want to try to go after. If it happens, good. If it doesn't, no big deal, because I got a hell of a lot of gratitude for where I am right now.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't trade my wife for anything.
That's awesome, man.
Not another bike ride.
Yeah. That's
No way.
awesome, man.
No way.
That's
So,
awesome.
I don't know where I was going with that.
No, but it's real though, and how priorities change. But it's to the essence, in my opinion, of there's a valley right there, and you get back up, and you adjust, and you attack in a different direction, and it's being water. Be water, my friend.
Yeah.
And the water can flow or it can crash. It goes to the cup, it becomes the cup, right? But it's always gonna go around everything, and it's gonna get to where it needs to go. And maybe, you know what? Sometimes the stream changes that it's in, the body of water that it's in. That actually it's in the ocean, it's in a bay, it's in a whatever. And maybe now this is and metaphorically is now you're in this bay type frame, and there'll be a time for it to flood back out to the ocean.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of life. But whatever you're doing, you're trying to be the best. You were seeking to be the Red Bull sponsored, to do the race in Russia. Well, you're trying to be the best at that. Well, now it's like, I'm going to try to be the best husband I am. I'm going to try to be the best naval officer I am. And to me, it's just the essence of being resilient in whatever it is, because it's being able to flow with whatever life is throwing at you. I think it definitely serves a point and shows the spectrum of how you apply this throughout this whole entire journey of life. And not one point in here did I ever hear you speak on when I got to this point, like as far as the destination, as far as this location. Not one time. I think you cited San Francisco, you met up with a guy, right? You talked about LA, right? But never no end state. And my point there is, it was poetic almost about the way you live your life is you're never focused on so much the destination as it seems to be that you're embracing the journey along the way. And I know that sounds, somebody's gonna go, that's fucking corny. I think it's real, and I think it's an example, because for you to feel as gratitude, as much gratitude as you feel, to feel as grateful as you are, to not have the regrets, to be where you are. There's probably some place we all want to take back, right? But you embrace being where you are now and being the best you can now, and that's embracing the journey. And there's many people that get to the destinations, and that's the most depressing point for them, because they're like, what now? I mean, the great fighter, oh my God, I can't believe I think of his name, Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. If anybody listens to him and reads on him, when he was suicidal and when he got to a point of darkness was after he beat Vitaly Klitschko. And he was like, what now? I did my goal. What now, right? And that's a scary place to be sometimes. But what's beautiful about what your story is so far in life is you're never really there. I never heard you once say, I was there. There was never a so what. It's like, now what? Now what? Now what's next? And what's the thing? And that's an example. That's not to kiss up to you or anything like that. I just think it's a really cool tie-in to the theme of don't focus on the destination, focus on the journey and the day by day, you know. What Miley Cyrus, it's the climb. You know, my little girl used to play that song so good. Oh, man, that song got on my nerves. But the message of it is beautiful. Like, it's the climb. It's the climb of life. It's never getting to the top.
Yeah, I think if we continue to press forward, I mean, I want to live my life just doing the best I possibly can and then just take me off the planet, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like natural, you know, means whatever's going to take me away from life. I want that to happen, but I'm going to live it the fullest I possibly can. You know, I don't think it's a cliche. I mean, a lot of people probably see it that way, but they haven't been in my head. They haven't been in the athlete's head that I've coached of like this post-race depression, post-event depression, because, you know, if Fury was dealing with that after that fight, I mean, it's not surprising, right?
Yeah.
You lead up to this expectation and it's just like, oh, now what?
Now what?
Well, there's never a now what. It's the now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what are you going to do now?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we live in a beautiful country here in Japan. I'm very, you know, grateful for having this opportunity. But, you know, the societies live a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they are after serenity versus happiness.
True.
I mean, they have a very beautiful country and they look at all the little details to keep it beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, it's as small as just making sure that the trash is picked out in front of their stores.
And you can do that by not putting trash cans places because I've noticed that to be a trend. But I'm just saying.
That too. But we've got trash cans here on base, and it's just kind of like we still bring our American ways all the way on the other side of the country. Yep. Right. So it's looking at things differently. It's trying to embrace the now always. And I've lived in that post-race depression or oh, yeah, we took second. We didn't make it to the series. We didn't do this. And it always would end. But there would always be something to look forward to. Mm-hmm. Right? In sports, it's easy. You got another season.
Right.
Okay. We're going to be sad a little bit here. We're going to be a little depressed because we didn't make it, but sit in it, get out of it, move on. There's more to life than that. And, you know, just because you're not part of some type of structured, you know, sport or event, whatever it may be, create it. If you're struggling with that, right?
Create it.
I mean, we live in I don't know, we don't work with our hands as much as we used to. There's a lot of things that we could change, just like create your own destiny, more or less. I mean, some people could say that's a cliche too, but I've seen people that have chased their dreams to the end and still not be fulfilled. Mm-hmm. Okay? One Olympic sport didn't work, so they tried another. They weren't happy. So they tried another. Mm-hmm. And they still weren't happy. Mm-hmm. Right? There is no end. There is only now. And if we live in the present and we enjoy the moment with the highest gratitude possible, it's where you can actually thrive in life. Yes. So one of the things when I was dating, I thought this was super cool. Like I don't know who I stole this from, but I stole it because I like to steal ideas from people because maybe no idea is an original idea. I don't know. Right? Let's ponder that one for a bit. If you really want to truly be in the moment, have someone else be your eyes. Cam, your relationship, your wife, how long?
Almost 20 years.
20 years?
Yeah, 20 years.
Take her to the park. Sit her down in the park. Go down to what's the Kintai Bridge? Mm-hmm. Go sit down there on like a Saturday, and be like, listen, I want you to cover your eyes real quick, and I'm gonna bring you into the moment, and then what you see, you just explain in detail of what's going on around her, what you see and how you're perceiving it, and be her eyes. Because I guarantee that'll put her in the now. And if you want to do that in life by yourself, that is one of the most wonderful experiences in the world, to see every single thing and every single detail that's coming on, right? I'm driving to work, I'm riding my bike, and I look at these little kids that are walking to school that are 6 years old wearing yellow, right?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about their future of, wow, this little kid's walking like a mile by themselves.
Yes, by themselves.
It's crazy. It's just, I'm just thinking of what they're taking in, right? One little kid stopped the other day and looked at bugs. That's just what he did. He's living the now.
Yeah, yeah.
Adults don't do that.
Nah, man, we do not.
We don't do it enough. Why? Because we're living in the past, or we're living in the future, because we're thinking about tomorrow and not thinking about now.
It's true.
Right? So I did that a lot when I was dating, and I was just trying to connect with people, right? To take people and try to bring them out of the future or the past and put them in the now, because that's what I got to experience when I rode across the country twice. You smell it, you see it, you hear it, and you use all those senses to really put yourself in the moment. Then you'll really see life in a whole different world.
I love it, man. Man, that is some brilliant. Just
so try that with your wife.
I'm gonna try it because that sounds deep and good, and to the point on cliche. Shout out Rex, who made that opening track right there. My man Rex, he had said, I was talking to him when I was recently in San Diego. We were talking, and he's like, man, you know why they call it, you know why stuff's cliche, right? And I was like, huh? I don't know, because I was saying it a few times. It's cliche, and he's like, because it's true. Something wouldn't become cliche if it wasn't true. Like, as soon as you say some dumb shit, somebody be like, don't ever say this shit again. You never say it again. Right? Hey, I was stupid. Don't say that again. Yeah. Hey, you're like, all right, I was stupid. Sorry, I will never say that again. But when the fact that we say it again and again and again and again and again reflects the truth in it. So it's not such a bad thing. Like,
it
no
doesn't
pain, no gain is real. There's no pain, there's no gain. Like, it's just real. Like, usually things that you're proud of, if you look back on your life, there's no sweatless solution. I think Jocko said that, but there's no sweatless solution. And I dig on all you endurance athletes. I think it's amazing. I haven't tried it myself, but I have a good friend of mine, Mark Allen. He does it, and he says, man, you just tap into another part of your brain. I listen to Rich Roll a lot. Obviously, we all just nowadays, we obviously Goggins, right?
Oh, yeah.
But I do see that there's a beauty in the suffering and the struggle. And J. Cole on Love Yours, talk about gratitude, the whole song about gratitude. He says there's beauty in the struggle, there's ugliness in the success, and it's true there. But I do agree with Goggins on one line, if anything, if nothing else, is to grow we must suffer. Now, that doesn't mean be a masochist and to the point of death or anything like that, but there has to be some suffering, there has to be some friction, there has to be some callousing that occurs. And I think it's almost a law of nature at this point in life. Right, and if you're getting high reward and not a big investment of effort, it's probably not something good. Go down the list of things that give you a high reward and not a lot of effort of put in. Just go down the list of what those type of outlets may be, and I guarantee they will eventually be destructive to you. But,
and I would challenge those people to look at utility, which isn't economics; it's the measure of happiness. How happy are you when you get high reward with no work, versus a lot of work and a little reward at the end?
Just not
right. That's the journey that people speak about.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I enjoy the training part. I don't like events. I don't like them at all because they end.
Yeah,
the training never ends.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So I always told my friends that were made it to the professional ranks of, like, I was a great training partner. I was never a good competitor, because the competition from my college days, it always end.
Yeah.
I don't want it to end.
Right.
And I'm going to live my life like that, because you know what? Success is what I make of it. It's not what someone else sees. If you want to judge me, that's fine. That's on you. But I'm just going to live to be the best I possibly can be, and that's it. So it's just, it's interesting, those cliches and those terms that people use. because you're right. It is real. It's not real.
It's true.
So
It's true. It's true. It's true. It's the climb. But also be grateful for what you got right now and who you got right now around you, because you're gonna miss this, like Trace Atkins said, and that's a fact right there. Like that song sitting in this room right now. We sung this song many a time, or it was like open mic / karaoke. I don't know what it turns into sometimes, but that song right there. I don't care if you like country music. I don't care if you like hip hop. Listen to Love Yours. And I don't care if you like country music or not, listen to You're Gonna Miss This by Trace Atkins, because that right there is so true. And that's a further incentive to be in the now and to appreciate what you have and what you're going through right now, because you're gonna miss this, right there. I'm not a good singer, but I tried.
I don't even try. I'm glad you try. You can keep trying that.
I'm gonna keep trying.
I'll pass on that.
He said it take more than one try. He said take more than two. I'm gonna just keep singing until it sound good. But brother, man, this has been amazing. Just interacting with you, getting to know you. This, and a few times I met you, I'm like, I want to talk to that guy, but I don't want to just be like, so what do you think about the weather? I wanted to talk like this, and it just happened to organically come out and grow into this. Because thank you to Lindsay, one of the most amazing humans I've ever known, and then we reached out to each other and we set this up on Liberty Time right now. We should be most of our peers and colleagues, and include me right now, if I wasn't sitting here, probably sleeping in right now and shit, but we're not. We're up here getting to know each other, and I just appreciate you being vulnerable and sharing, man. And on that, is anything you want to leave the audience with, or anybody out there listening might be struggling, or like, hey, I'm gonna pursue this goal, win, or whatever you want to leave them with, man. I'm not gonna lead the witness.
No, I appreciate your time. I mean, especially, we're sitting here on a 96 on the back end. I could be riding my bike, exploring new things of Japan, but after talking with Lindsay and kind of what I've gone through, I can go through a lot more rabbit holes with stories and lessons that I've learned over the time. Cam, I truly appreciate your time this morning.
Yeah, man. Most valuable resource we have. I love it, man.
As far as what I can leave people with, be authentic to your true self of what you want to try to accomplish in life. That's it. If you want to do it, don't quit. Go after it, because it's right there. I don't care what ethnicity you are, what diversity, card you're playing that's trying to hold you down. Just get in the now.
Get in the now.
Get in the now. Figure out where you want to go. Benchmark where you are. Figure out some progression to get there. And ask for help along the damn way.
Yeah, don't be too
because
proud.
if you're too proud, guess what? You delayed potentially a year or 2 or 5 or 10 to try to accomplish what you want to accomplish in life. And if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And if it's not, change and head in a different direction, because there's other goals that you can try to accomplish. And basically live life to the fullest. Learn from the past, plan for the future, but most importantly, live in the now.
I love it, man. I love it. Hey, this has been real. This has been a real Resilience Talk podcast. Takeaways, all right? Takeaways. I had to write them down. Psycho Cybernetics by Maltz. Got to check that out. Keyword PA. I'm going to go ahead and coin it for him. Plan, act, hope. Peaceful Warrior. It's a good book, good movie. Do we got to watch the movie to get the book, or can we read the book, or is it one of those?
Vice versa.
Okay, vice versa. So I know everybody's going to now go download and watch the movie Peaceful Warrior. And then EFP, extract full potential and act now. And as Matt said, man, keep moving forward and don't quit. Keep moving forward and don't quit. This life is short, man. Time is ticking. It's going to get us all. So in that spirit, and like I always like to close, man, number one, we're only sponsored. No, we're not sponsored. We're inspired by the First Amendment, and that's why we're here right now, expressing our freedoms to express ourselves. So thank you for that, and thank you for those who support and defend that. But also, we are sponsored by nobody. This song is called Second Winds by Monchichi Rex, to my great brother, Rex. He said a lot of good things. I quoted him on tonight. Highlight reel this morning. I don't even know what time of the day it is. Look, we feeling it. We vibing. Second Winds, y'all. Thank you. No matter what's going on, good or bad, just remember, this too shall pass. Make good choices.